Hello, Katie. Okay. Hi, Lisa. Katie, if you're still in here. It's Gypsy Rose discussion tonight. Hi, Debbie. Okay. Just sharing the live out. Some people had asked me to. Why can't I get to my other people? Oh, I shared to as many as it would let me. Hi, Mariah. Going to talk about Gypsy tonight. Some stuff that has come out in the last couple weeks. Just getting ready for winter, so I'm all bundled up because I don't have heat in my house. So I use kerosene heaters, but I don't use them until it gets like freezing temperatures. So it's about 40 degrees, and so I'm bundled. You'll see me in hats and gloves and scarves, and you'll barely see my face. I hibernate in the wintertime. Just getting ready to talk about Gypsy a little bit. Hi, TikTok Hannah. I was going to talk about Gypsy tonight and Nick's habeas corpus and a couple other things that I just stumbled on the last couple days. Has TikTok Hannah, have you heard about Fancy Maselli's new book? Yeah, no. Well, I was hoping we'd have a month more so I can get out in the garden and get finished. Well, I was suspended for like 2 weeks. So I'm back now, and I can go live on a couple of my accounts, but I think only 3 of them. So right now they keep cutting my voice, even on my 10-minute videos. They were cutting my sound, so I couldn't even do those for a week. So anyway, have any of you? Okay, so you know about Fancy's new book. Did you hear about the letter that Fancy wrote in Dee Dee's voice, like it was Dee Dee writing to her? Have you heard that yet? That it's the ego. I mean, I wasn't saying anything about Fancy because it's like I stopped with her. She used to be on my lives and everything, and then we had a falling out because I came to find out she just wasn't entirely truthful, and but I wasn't saying anything about her until I started talking about the Nick Godejohn infiltration group in 2019. Oh my God! So you know about that too, Mariah? Well, I guess the whole book is confusing because she wrote it in like Shakespearean style or whatever, but that's not, apparently she used names for the people in the book. But since she spent a year slandering the Dee Dee's family, you know, they got to be in the book. She's talking about them. She probably cloaked the names because she doesn't want a slander suit. But for me, I'm sorry, this is the last straw. I was given Fancy credit for releasing the medical records. But she's not the only one that had the medical records. Natasha Cooper had them too. So once back in 2020 or 2019, whenever that was that they released those medical records into the public, those medical records became public domain. Because that's what happens. Once you release something to the public, it's public. You can't put it back in the box. All right? So, you know, I ignored Fancy calling herself the self-described expert, because nobody's an expert in this case. All right? Even the original investigators are not experts in this case, because they had to stop the investigation once Gypsy took her plea deal. So nobody's an expert in this case. And I don't trust anyone who has ever worked with Gypsy or Christy Blanchard. I don't trust them. I'm just going to go on the record and say that. I do not trust you. You at one point were promoting Gypsy and working for her. And then in 2019, all of you were involved in manipulating Nick in the Dawn Boker situation. All right? All of you were involved in that. Anyone who was, taken Dawn by the hand and given her information about Nick so that she could trap him was involved in that. So you can't turn it around and spin it now. And because I started saying that about a year ago, that people were manipulating Nick, and because I got into this trying to explain Nick's autism to people, because my son is autistic, all right? Because of that, all these factors started to come after me to discredit me. But it didn't work. And now it's all blowing up in Gypsy's face. And Gypsy's going to take all of you down with her, every single one of you. She's going to take you down with her because she has no other choice. I said this a year ago. A year ago, I said, every content creator that is secretly working with Christy Blanchard, that Christy's feeding them, they are going to be exposed by Gypsy herself. I said that a year ago. I said all this infighting is dramatic and it's made up. It's manufactured. So now we've got Natasha Cooper going after Bree. Isn't that funny? Why? Why is Bree and Natasha Cooper sparring now? Why? Because they can't go on all of your platforms. All of you have stopped letting them use your platforms. They don't have anywhere else to go. And you've all stopped watching the manufactured drama. What happened to the billboard? Nobody talks about the billboard anymore. That was real big for about 2 months, right? What happened to all of that infighting shit? Where the audience didn't know what was going on because they didn't know all the people. They didn't know who the hell you all were talking about. All the doxing and all the swatting each other and, sending pizzas to each other's houses, Yes, it's all a pattern. It is a strategy, okay? Fake fighting it's a troll thing. That's what they do for, to get attention. And what happened in the last few months? All the prison emails came out. New FOIAs came out now after, Nick lost his habeas corpus, so more stuff's going to come out. But just, I guess, a few weeks ago, new FOIAs came out. I don't have those yet. I'm trying to get them. But Starlight, hello Starlight, is reading them. She's doing really good work over on YouTube. Into the Weeds has joined with Audrey and Ashley. And they are all three. They're going over the new FOIAs and they're going over Nick's habeas corpus because they have the documents. As soon as I get the documents, I'll start reading them. Hi, Bam Bam. Or I'll put them up on my GRB evidence page on Facebook. As soon as I have anything that's made public, I will put it up in my public group for all of you to have. What I did find out, in the meantime, go over to GRB Snark on Reddit. Make a Reddit account, there's no charge for it, and go on GRB Skeptic, GRB Evidence, and GRB Snark. GRB Snark has the most, and it has stuff from a couple of years ago. They had just posted a thing a couple of days ago. Apparently someone, I can't find out who it is yet. If I find out who it is, I'll let you know. But someone filed a document on behalf of Nick with the court. Nick did not approve of it, and he didn't know anything about it. He didn't give them permission to do this, and he's very pissed about it. So I expect that NPG Cornerstone is going to have something out about that soon, but I'm trying to follow up on that because I don't know if that affected his denial of his habeas corpus or not. Now, people have been asking me why Nick wrote what he did the way he did. Because if you read that, it seems like he's challenging the judge, when he says, I hope you do the right thing. Nick has always spoken that way. If you go back to emails that he's written, if you go back to correspondence with NPG Cornerstone, even the text messages, you can see in the text messages where Gypsy is yelling at him and she's saying, I put up with all your political crap. Nick didn't have political crap. Nick has always been into the environment and, injustice in that regard. He was like a tree hugger, He cared about, like, justice, and so in prison, he's had a long time to study. They have a law library in prison where they're allowed to work on their appeals. And he has obviously, followed up on kind of like what he believes in. And the habeas corpus was to show that he was sentenced illegally, that his rights were denied to him. And the way his rights were denied is because his autism was not considered as mitigating circumstances. Like Gypsy's supposed alleged abuse was considered as a mitigating circumstance. So Gypsy's plea deal was given to her based on false information, and then Nick was denied. Okay, let's put it this way. How would you all, because it's 10 years in, and 10 years is where you have a prisoner has the right to appeal. Your appeals are exhausted after 10 years. The last thing, he has no hope of a new trial. He is, his habeas corpus is his last legal maneuver. He's done. So that's denied. He's in prison for life without the exception, without parole, without even the consideration of parole. That's all he was asking for. He was asking for the right to the chance of parole, and he should have gotten it. But this whole system has been unfair. What if, because the death penalty was on the table for both of them, what if Nick had gotten the death penalty? Right now, 10 years in, everything's exhausted. He would be being put to death. Think about that. He got life without parole, but what if they had given him the death penalty? Think about that. Now, so, his chances are gone. The only could have a possibility of people appealing to the governor or appealing to the attorney general and making it a point known that the Gypsy's plea deal was obtained under false narrative, false pretenses. Send all, get a letter writing campaign. Send that to the attorney general, because the attorney general is over the prosecutor, and then send it to the governor. That's his only hope now. If there is a mass, but he didn't want that prior to, he wanted to exhaust all his appeals. So he asked people not to do things like that. But maybe now that his habeas corpus is gone, Nick will be open to more people supporting him in that way, as far as writing to the attorney general, writing to the governor, really getting behind him to get his story out there, because his story has never been put to the public. Nick has sat in prison, and they have been able to paint him every which way that they want. And they've painted him as disturbed. And that's why tonight I can't do it because my other phone went dead. Um, I have the Dawn Boker side of the Dawn and Nick emails, and I'm going to start reading those. And I think I'll do that tomorrow night or Monday. Yes, a letter writing campaign. But I would not start that until I actually had some way of contacting Nick. I don't want to do anything for Nick that Nick doesn't want done. Because it's his business, it's his life. But, I would hope that he knows that we're all out here. Because, Nick is gun shy now because in 2019, he supposedly had people that were supporting him. Dawn Boker started this Facebook group, and it was supposed to be supporting Nick, and they were publishing all of his emails when he asked them not to do that. And he had all these women in there that were secretly working against him. They were secretly trying to get him to claim he had multiple personalities because Gypsy needed to do that. Because Gypsy lied on the stand. Gypsy lied on the stand at Nick's trial when she said, and she lied to Dr. Phil when they talked. Anytime the alternate personalities came up, Gypsy's story has always been, I did that for Nick. I made up every single one of those personalities for Nick. But when she's asked, okay, what were the names of all his personalities? She doesn't have an answer because he didn't have them. He did not have multiple personalities. He had one, his dark side, who he called Victor. That weren't two. That wasn't a dark side and Victor. It was his dark side that he called Victor. And I don't even know if he named it Victor or if she did. As far as I know, with what Fancy's involvement, Fancy gives different stories to that. But we know that Fancy had an actual contract with Dawn in 2019. They were going to produce some sort of, show or whatever. Fancy wrote to Ken and mentioned the emails and, mentioned how dark they were and how they show Nick to be violent. And Fancy had Dawn under some sort of contract. The emails and stuff between Dawn and Nick started in April, and it only lasted about 5 months. He found out, it's April, May, June, July. By June or July, Nick had found out they were playing him, and he wrote to Dawn, and that's what's in these emails that I have. But prior to the time that Nick finds out he's being manipulated, and he calls her on it, there are a few there's a few emails where Dawn is like begging Nick to believe her, and it's not her, it's these other women that are doing this shit. They're manipulating Nick's dad, and they're all trying to drive Nick and Dawn apart. They're blaming everybody else. Just like, it's very similar to what Gypsy did. And especially the first couple where Dawn describes her own personalities. Dawn tells Nick she's got multiple personalities. And she names them all. And she introduces them all to Nick. And she makes Nick feel like they are his family. Just like Gypsy did to Nick, by making him feel that he was the protector of the family inside her. It's just infuriating when you read these and you see the similarities. And then you see that Dawn gave them to Gypsy. Gypsy mentions Dawn in the prison emails, so she knew all about this Dawn situation. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think Gypsy was involved in all of it. I think Gypsy was involved in it, Fancy was involved in it, Tasha Cooper was involved in it, Christy was involved in it. They were all involved in it. And It started in 2019. I've got a timeline, which I will read tomorrow night or whenever I do the thing. I think I'll try tomorrow night. I made a timeline of it because when you timeline everything, that's what an investigation does. You make a timeline. And I took from Nick's trial and then his sentencing and then when he started his appeal, and then all this starts up with the infiltration thing, writing to him, that all starts up after that. Because Gypsy knew she lied on the stand. She perjured herself on the stand when she said that the kitty personality was created for Nick's little boy. Nick didn't have a little boy. So she fucked up, and she had to fix it. So they right away went into action to try to make Nick look like he had alternate personalities. But they couldn't. He didn't. There is a message that should not exist. If none of this stuff is true, if they did not try to manipulate Nick, there's a message that should not exist. It's from Dawn to someone. We don't know who it is. I have my suspicions who it is, but it's asking someone for all the names of Nick's personality so that she could trap him in his own game. If Nick had alternate personalities, somebody would have given those names to Dawn. They couldn't, because he didn't have alternate personalities. But he believed that every single one of those people inside of Gypsy were separate. He believed that Ruby entered Gypsy. Why? Because that's what Gypsy told him. Gypsy wrote Nick a letter, or an email or message as Ruby that explained the nude pictures to the men. Because Nick was asking about that, you know? Gypsy overshares, right? Especially when she's grooming someone. She overshares. Read these prison emails and see how she is manipulating every single one of these men. There's one that that Millennium is doing a really good job reading these emails. A lot of people are on TikTok, and I'll credit a few of them next time. I just got to get all their names and stuff. But there was one that she just read. Gypsy is talking to this guy in Italy, and she's like sex playing with him. She's doing all this stuff. I mean, and he's got a girlfriend, but she's like still like, you know, trying to like seduce him and have him come over here to visit her. And she's doing this during the time that she starts her relationship with Ryan. So Ryan is sitting there, you know, thinking she's committed to him. And she's with all these other men in prison, talking to them, taking money from them, you know, grooming them, just like she groomed Nick. That's what she does. So, like when she was with Nick, she's telling him about all these other men that want her, right? It's to keep Nick on edge. Gypsy was like Nick's first. You know, he fell in love deep, and I mean just deep. He was committed to her after 4 days. She was telling him, "You're my master. I want you in my life. I want you forever. I worship and adore you." Right? No, she didn't worship and adore him. She was grooming him, and she was trying to groom others, and they didn't fall for it. She knew she could groom Nick because of his autism. She knew exactly how to work him, and that's what these FOIAs have shown. Read the FOIAs from his first appeal, where Dan Gladwell testified. It shows point by point how she used these characters to groom him. And one of the ways was she wrote to him as Ruby, and she said, yes, I did send naked pictures to these men. I didn't have sex with them, but I sent naked pictures because I wanted attention. I had just appeared, however she said it, inside Gypsy at the time, and I used Gypsy's hand. She was telling Nick that she was a separate being inside Gypsy, but she is able to use Gypsy's body and use Gypsy's hand. So Nick completely believed that Ruby was real, Damona was real, Candy was real, Kitty was real. And he was the protector of all of them. He was the daddy. Yes, that's exactly how she starts. She plays submissive. She plays it. She knows just enough to be stupid with it. You know, she doesn't know that anybody who really understands dominant submissive roles can see her in 5 minutes. It's just, you know, she's gotten away with it for so many years, but it's done. It's over because too many people know now, and she cannot back out of all her bullshit. She just can't. It's impossible. It's all fallen in. Yes, Bam Bam, I do too. So, but I don't have to put all my business out into the world. So, you know, it's just it's not only the inconsistencies that, you know, she's her own worst enemy, because how she thinks she's going to unravel all these lies. And for me, her downfall started with her book, because when she went overboard in her book with all of the, you know, erotic stuff and true, Bam Bam, you know. Well, but see, that's the thing. If you truly understand a certain aspect of a life or whatever, you don't bandy it about. You know, she just, you know, and the way she's trying to say, like in her book where she said everything was scripted, that Nick, she was doing all this for Nick. She didn't want to. She didn't know nothing about nothing. And, you know, Nick gave her all the scripts. Okay, where are they? Where are these scripts? Because Nick saved every little bit of you. Okay, and anything you did online, any message you sent him, he saved it. I don't believe she's talked to Nick. She claims that she talked. Okay, Natasha claims that she talked at one point in 2019, that she talked to Nick. She talked to both Dans, and, you know, she talked to everybody, every guy in Springfield. She talked to them all. And Nick claims that he talked to her like one time. And yeah, I don't believe, because here's what, okay, in 2019 especially, that was a very high profile case in 2019. All right, 2017 and 2019. 2019 especially, because that was Nick's trial. Nick's trial was November 2018, and then he was sentenced in 2019. So he was big news then. He was really big news. And so if she had talked to Nick, she would have had some sort of evidence of that. And if she had talked to any of the Dans, she would have filmed it on her phone or something. Okay? No phone evidence, no nothing. Just her word. Just her claim. All right? So I don't believe it. I don't believe anything Natasha Cooper has ever said. Not since what she did to Gannon Stout. No. That was it for me. You get one chance with me to prove your integrity and your authentic self. You get one chance. If you lie one time, you're done. You're done. I don't listen to you ever again. If you gatekeep information, I'm done with you. Okay? This is public information. None of you have the right to be holding it behind a paywall. Not one of you. Yes. I guess, Kiki. That's what I was told too. And PG Cornerstone told me that a year ago. That, you know, Nick has not spoken to any of them. So, you know, at this point, I'm sure Nick, And see, that, look what they've done with this NPG Cornerstone, how they've all tried to discredit them. Well, Nick is giving them material, so everybody needs to shut the fuck up. Because what we think of NPG Cornerstone doesn't matter. Nick and his father trust them. Nick is giving them information. So that's all we got to listen to. If this information is proven to be coming from Nick, which I can't see where it isn't, because, you know, at one point people have told me they think NPG Cornerstone is Gypsy. I've been told somebody thinks it's Dan Glidewell. I've been told that it's everybody but Nick. Well, Nick's, I'm pretty sure Nick's father is involved with it, or father and uncle, I think. But I know that the information is coming from Nick because during Nick's appeal, he had Dan Glidewell testify for him. And there was a complete transcript of Dan's testimony. I'm sure Dan wants nothing to do with it because there's a lot of suspicion about Dan. Like, why did Dan not ever tell anyone that Gypsy could walk and they were scamming? Yes, the transcript of Dan's testimony, yes, I do. I have it on my other phone, and I also linked it on one of my, you know, my little threads that I do here. It's linked on there. NPG Cornerstone did a video where it's actually, they're reading it. I can, I don't know if you follow me, KB. If you send me a message, I can send you that video that they put up. Yes, it's on, I know it's on my wall, but it's going to be a while back because it was about a month ago. If you send me a message, I can send you the video. Yeah, I accept all messages if I know you. I only delete messages from the you know, African princes that want to make me their wife and stuff and send me all kinds of money. So I get a lot of sex bots lately too. They want me to go over to their Telegram. I have no idea what that's about. Hi, truth be told. Seeing it? Okay. So I don't remember where I was at. Started off with Nick's habeas corpus, and like I said, I don't have the documents yet, but if you, Hello Starlight was reading it and doing an excellent job. It was one of her last couple lives. She's over on YouTube. I'm sure she's on TikTok too. I don't know if she's linked any of that, but go over to her YouTube channel. She did a long, like 2-hour live, and then Into the Weeds, Ashley and Audrey got together, and they just did like a 3-hour live on the habeas corpus and other things, and the new FOIA that's coming out. So, like I said, I'm going to gather all that as I can. What I do on these YouTube lives, when they're 2 and 3 hours long, I record them, and then I make a transcript, like a written transcript. I have a thing that turns my audio into a written transcript, and then I screenshot that and publish that over on my GRB evidence page on Facebook. That's all public. But it takes time, because it takes me at least 2 days to make like one transcript of a 3-hour YouTube video. So, but I'm trying to get all of that up there. As I have information, I will publish it over there. It's all in public. And if you want me to look for anything else in particular, just let me know, because I'm starting on my other research too. My friend with the JFK groups, he's available now, so I'm going to be doing at least 2 shows a week on the JFK material, because there's so much of that. There's like 50 years of that, and that's going to take us a lot of shows. But I want to still do Gypsy content at least once a week. But Gypsy's dying down. You know, as far as I'm concerned, Gypsy's over. But I think we need to still support Nick, in the effort at least to get him justice. As far as he's not going to get he's not going to get a trial. Anyway, that's gone. That's done. But we can maybe solicit the governor or whatever to maybe place him he can be placed in another area. He doesn't have to be in maximum security prison. He can be placed in somewhere where he can get the mental help he needs. And the public can be a part of getting that for him. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was your other account. You sneaky little thing. Oh. No, I have a couple other accounts too. As far as, for me, Gypsy is done. Nick isn't done. I will support Nick. I will defend Dee Dee. I will continue telling Dee Dee's story. Gypsy's done. Gypsy's lies and her bullshit and her controlling the narrative, that's over. That's done. We are not giving her the airtime anymore. And when I started this about 8 months ago, that's what I said to her. I directed it exactly to her. My first 10-minute little video, I directed right to Gypsy, and I said, because I was leaving TikTok when I started this. TikTok was boring to me. It was just junk. So I was leaving, and then I started watching the Gypsy stuff, and she called Nick an autistic buttercup. The minute she did that, I set my mind. I set my mind to it, and I told her directly, I said, you're done. You have united an army of autistic mothers out here, and we are going to support Nick. Yeah, I just saw that, Hannah. I just saw, okay, like that. Now, that's what I was asking earlier. Why is Natasha Cooper going after Bree? So is Chrissy fighting with all of them now? Hannah, do you want to come up? It might be easier for you to come up and explain it all, because I think Bree blocked me or something, because I don't see her.
Yes, I would like to come up and
There you are. There you are.
yes, because I don't understand how I keep saying that stuff is scripted. Hold on, I gotta turn down the other one. I got the
Okay.
tapper on one.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, so turn this one down. Okay, is it still echoing?
Yeah, yeah, the microphone's off. Go ahead.
Okay, is it echoing? No, it's not.
I don't think so.
Okay, this is what I noticed. How could Natasha? Why is Bree so comfortable with Natasha? With Natasha, be talking bad about her. So I was in a chat, and Bree was down here in the chat saying, "Oh, I'm about to go off on her. She's making me fucking angry." And I'm like, "Oh God!" So I'm watching her in the chat, and then I guess the live ended, and we came back at another time, and I asked Bree, have you calmed down from being upset at Natasha?" She goes, "Oh, I wasn't upset with her for real." I was like, "What?" So you was doing all that in the live before, so what happened? And when she said that, in my mind I was like, so she's not even intelligent enough to remember her part. Because I was like, you was doing all that cussing before. Now you said, "Oh, I'm not mad at her for real." Oh, okay. So after that I was like, yeah, I don't know.
No, it is a common troll tactic. That's what they do. It's all staged theater. Okay, when they do it political, it's political theater. When they go out there and they instigate, like, okay, Black Lives Matter protests, all of that instigating and all of the violence, that wasn't the protesters. That's paid instigators. Kent State, at Kent State, when the fires started. That wasn't the students. That was paid instigators. All right. It's to get the thing going. It's called political theater. And um, same thing here. I'm seeing it, and when they were doing the billboard, they had a bunch of profiles that were playing into that. They had Jen, Naomi, all of the different ones, right, going after each other. And so they would all guest up on each other's lives, and it would be going across, you know, 10 different profile platforms. All right. So they had that going, and everybody, as you're scrolling through, you're seeing all the different infighting, right? And nobody, the audience doesn't know what the hell's going on because they don't know who they're talking about, who they're screaming at each other. So that's what I said months ago. I said, this is all made up. This is all manufactured to distract from something. So what was coming out at that time? These prison emails were coming out. They didn't want anybody to listen or watch them. So now nobody's watching that anymore because everybody caught on. The audience left. They were like, we don't want to watch this. It's stupid. I'm
But
not learning anything about Gypsy.
something you said made so much sense to me because today, for some reason they're calling a peace treaty or truce, or everybody's supposed to be peaceful. And
Yeah,
what
I
I
know. I
noticed
know.
is that all of the other side is in the chat all day
Mm-hmm.
long. And I
Uh-huh.
said, y'all need to be careful because there's monitoring spirits in here recording and telling others. And that's all I
Mm-hmm.
said, because it's like all these people from the other side want you to be comfortable with them parlaying in your chat, saying whatever the hell they want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was like, no, this is scripted. It feels funny because it is funny. Everybody, you didn't know how
Mm-hmm.
to act. It breathes on our panels, and double standards is in the chat. All of them they're over here. They don't have anything to report on their
Yeah.
side. They're not doing anything. They're infiltrating our side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was raised evangelical, and I was raised to be taught that I have the gifts of the spirit. And one of the gifts of the spirit is discernment, where you
Discernment.
could
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
But
Yes.
my father used to always say, I have the gift of suspicion. And I do too.
Yes.
And so they're all wanting to get. I did a thing about it. They all want to get along now. We're all supposed to just get along now. Agree to disagree about Gypsy Rose. But no, 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 no. There is no neutral about Gypsy Rose. Either you believe she was justified in killing her mother because her mother abused her, or she killed her mother for other reasons, which was to probably get away with the fraud. Because Gypsy knew she was of age. Gypsy knew her mother could not do it anymore because her mother was sick. So there was going to come a day when the outside world noticed that Dee Dee couldn't take care of her anymore. So who was going to take care of Gypsy? Huh? Gypsy needed a story. Gypsy needed to get, because once, if Dee Dee needed home health care, the gig was up. Those nurses would have known that Gypsy wasn't needed in that wheelchair. And Gypsy was of legal age, and she would have gone down for the fraud with her mom. Her mom would have gone to jail and been taken care of. Her health would have been taken care of. Dee Dee would have been comfortable in jail. Gypsy didn't want to go to jail because Gypsy wanted to run around. She wanted to have all the men. She wanted to have the life she wanted. She couldn't have that with her mother alive. You
Well,
know.
she sure has a mess. It's a mess now. The discernment. We were on a panel today, and I just said that when I was listening to a lady read Fancy's book, and I keep
Mm-hmm.
telling everybody that is coming from schizophrenia. That is what that's the company, when that part where she's writing, those are her scribbling in her mind. And I was like, it gave me a migraine because I couldn't comprehend anything that she was saying because it's written for in her language or whatever in her mental illness that nobody will be able to encode that because it's written that's ramblings. That's the ramblings in her head.
Well, did you? For me, the last straw is this letter that Fancy wrote from Dee Dee to her. The ego in that is just astounding. It's just astounding. She writes. Have you heard that yet?
I don't know. I don't even know if they got to the letter part because I think the part we got to was the Bree was the attorney.
Right. Well, that apparently she cloaked the names of everybody, and nobody knows who she's talking about. But she's talking about real people, in it. But apparently, that Sweet and Honey read this letter. It's over on her page. She read this letter that Fancy wrote in Dee Dee's, like Dee Dee is writing to her, like Dee Dee's writing to Fancy, and Dee Dee is like thanking her for doing all of this, and it's just an astounding. It's just audacious. That's my last straw with Fancy. I'm sorry, that's my last straw. I know
Well,
that I understand she's a gatekeeper and she's kept information. I used to believe that she was attacked because she was giving out this information. I learned that no, she's not attacked for that. I learned a lot of it's bullshit, and I just stepped away. I distanced myself, but this is the last straw. This is the last straw.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that Fancy, Ken gets like he just absolutely despises her because at one time they were working together, and a lot of
Hmm.
people don't realize that his hate comes from a different place. He's like, she tried to mess up his family. No, she knows what you did. She knows all your secrets, and now if she wanted to bring them out, we would know it because you did
Yeah.
some evil stuff with Fancy. And
Fancy,
she proved
fancy,
it.
fancy messaged Ken when they were doing this manipulating Nick,
Yep.
and she told Ken about all of uh, the emails from Nick, saying that Nick was really disturbed and they were really dark. And then Fancy called all of the Nick supporters morons. So I know exactly where Fancy's at. You know.
Right. Well, this book that she's put out is to break up a book into 900 pages, and you got to pay $30 a section, and it's like, come on, yeah, it's hard to follow because it doesn't make any sense. But that's because that's her ramblings.
Well, I mean, I ignored her self-described. I'm the expert, because nobody's the expert. You know, the only expert on this case is probably Gypsy at this
Well,
point.
I
Because
know. Yeah, and she is the one that's lying. We'll never
right,
know what she's talking about. But I forgot where I heard that Natasha has not talked to Nick because he can't. I was told he doesn't like her. But if you listen to what she's saying, she's repeating the same thing. Nick still mourns the death of this child that he supposedly had with Gypsy to this day. So how do you know to this day that he still thinks that there's a child? If you haven't talked to him, when did you talk to him?
according to Nick, they talked one time.
See, and that's what I thought. So when she says to this day he mourns a baby, no, he doesn't. It's like no, he doesn't.
No,
So
because
for
he understands there was no baby.
exactly, that's what I was thinking because she keeps saying that as a flex, and it's like no, that's not
They
true.
keep, well, that's like the people that want to say that Nick will never talk about Gypsy because he's still obsessed with her, he still loves her. That's not true. He did
Right,
say there will be a part of him that will always love her because that's who that man is. All right. uh, my son's autistic. They feel things so deeply. I mean, you can't even reach their world. There's sections of their life, their world, their brain you will never touch. I will never know my son completely. Now, there's other people in my life I will know completely, not my son. I can't reach his world.
Right.
I mean, he didn't talk until he was 4 years old. He would sit on the floor and bang his head on the floor. He communicated through drawing
Right.
pictures. I was the only person who knew what he wanted. He wouldn't go to anyone. I couldn't have babysitters, you know? I, and we are very close now. He's brilliant. I did not know when he wasn't like he flunked out of school until high school, elementary, junior high. He flunked out of everything. When he got to high school, he was taking college courses. He got scholarships to put himself through college. He was memorizing the dictionary and language. He can tell you where every word comes from, what it means and what it comes from. All right?
Right.
But yet he can't do social things. He doesn't know what's going on with me. He can't read social cues.
Right.
He's just in his own world. And so I leave him there. He's one of the most brilliant, compassionate people I know. And so that's why I like, I look at Nick and I see him, those videos of him sitting in his room, sharing his music and dancing. He lived his life in his room on his computer. And the one thing he didn't have is a woman to love.
Right. That's
And then
right.
she crashed into his life and destroyed his life. His mother's not here anymore. Nick is not obsessed with Gypsy Rose anymore. No.
Exactly. And that's what, when I listen to her say that, I'm like, that's not true. Like, to this day, that's not true. When you use those kind of words, to this day, no, to this day, he has not talked to you. And so what you're doing is making up lies on somebody that we could write him and ask him the truth
Right.
if we wanted to. So she's built a lie that has gone on since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was like, yeah, but it doesn't. I could tell that what I see as scripted is, if you think about it, if Natasha is coming saying ugly stuff about Bree and Sheena, and Bree and Sheena are the designated best friends to Gypsy, and Christy is in there, those are her friends too, and ain't nobody said you ain't finna talk about my friend like that. That's weird. Nobody wants to stand up for themselves, so everybody is just gonna let Natasha just railroad them. That's crazy.
Okay.
That's not real life.
Does anybody down in chat want to come up on panel? Let me know because I keep forgetting to look. Yeah, if anybody wants to come up, come on up or request. I think I have my thing set so you can just pop up. I don't know. So, does anybody want to? Okay, there's Anne.
Hey
Any,
y'all, how are you doing?
Hi. Does anybody else want up? We're talking Gypsy Rose tonight. Okay, Audrey.
Hey Hannah.
Okay, how are you tonight, Anne?
I'm good. I'm just thinking along the same lines as you guys. This is all scripted. The whole thing is scripted.
Yes.
All of
Yeah.
it.
Well, personally, now this is my opinion, okay? Entertainment purposes only. I have always thought for years, I mean, this was before I got on TikTok, that Christy, back when I saw Mommy Dead and Dearest, all right, that's when it's really started to gel. I was paying attention to like Christy in that, and especially Christy at the lawyer's office when they were going over all of the evidence and everything. And we know now from the FOIA that Gypsy told the investigators that Gypsy was very smart and not to let her fool them. All right. So Christy knew from the get go that Gypsy was capable of this and that Gypsy was manipulating all of them. So after she saw all of the crimes, because Rod and Christy cleaned that house out. They saw the crime scene. All right. They started gathering all. It was Christy that did the pantry closet with, oh, look at this. This is all these
That's
medications.
so disturbing to me that Rod and Christy were in Dee Dee's house doing that, cleaning her
Right.
house out. That I don't understand that at all.
It
they were robbing her is what they were
Yeah.
yeah.
doing. A dead woman can't tell no tales, and they went in there and got what they wanted that they
Or
thought was it was
or
looting.
or collecting the evidence.
Uh-huh.
Evidence. Exactly, Annie. Exactly.
Yep.
Okay? So,
And I think
yeah.
that was more Christy than Rod. I think Rod just kind of goes with the flow. I don't, you
Yep.
know.
Because what would have been in that house is evidence of the fraud.
Yeah.
I
And
also
how
think
do
that
we
Christy
know?
knew about the kill. I think she did. You
Well,
know, if
that I don't know.
I
But
don't
I
think
do
she
know,
knew.
I
You know
do
how you be
know,
like, she's so mean, mom's so mean. You know how mom is. She played into those types of conversations with Gypsy.
I don't know, Audrey, I'll have to find it, look in my files for that to see when they actually went in the house. I have that somewhere, but I don't have it in my head.
I mean,
Um,
even if Dee Dee's family were like, no, we don't want nothing to do with that, the state or something should have taken over, not Rod and Christy.
I was told by someone who knows the sisters that the sisters did give them permission to go
Okay.
into
All
the
right. Well, that
house.
makes sense then. That
Yeah,
makes
I was
sense.
I was told that maybe
Okay.
maybe the sisters could not get there or something or whatever. But what I've not been able to ascertain yet is if the police tape was taken down yet. If the formal investigation was over before they went into the house, that I don't know. I know that the neighbors all gathered. They brought a U-Haul, and the neighbors all gathered and asked them, "What were you doing?" And Christy and Rod told the neighbors that the sisters gave them permission.
And we don't even know if that's true.
And
Well,
we won't ever know if we're waiting on them to tell the truth.
Yeah, we
yeah,
won't hear the truth from any of them.
the one woman that does know the sisters, know the family, told me that yes, they did give permission.
Okay.
So, uh,
Everything's just so bizarre. You know, we don't know what to believe, what's true,
I think that Dee Dee's family, you know how siblings are raised to be like, you better stick up for them no matter what. I don't think that they were raised. I believe the family was in discord and they were allowed to be jealous and envious of each other without
yeah.
somebody saying, you don't do that. That's your sister. So I think that when it came down to the stuff having to be moved and stuff, they didn't couldn't fathom that she was brutally unalive by her daughter. And see, around town they had passed around that Dee Dee was all these bad things. And they didn't want to, they still were talking bad about her, even after death with Gypsy. So, put the ashes in the trash can. I just
Hmm.
think that Fancy has become their villain and their generational nightmare. They're going to pass on Fancy's name to generations to come because it's a small town and they've made it a mess. Everything about this thing is a mess.
well, the thing is, we don't know the inner workings of the family. My family, you know, I was raised evangelical, and my mother kind of made all of us distant with each other. By the time we were in like high school, I had no relationship with my sister. After she left the house and I left the house, we didn't speak for years. And we're just in our 60s. We are just trying to form a bond again. And so, I mean, lots of things are said that, you can't take back once you say them. But, family dynamics are hard and they're different with everybody. And we don't know this family. All we know is that, Gypsy Rose did what she did. And then, you know, she lied about her mother. So how do we know that she didn't lie about the family too? Her mother's family. Because
That's true.
this
But
is
I know
all, it's all, Gypsy needs to, everybody to believe, especially the public, to believe her story. And her story is that her mother was this evil monster who kept her from her family, kept her from society, you know, and we know that's not true because they were local celebrities. Everybody knew them. How is she
But they
Yeah.
secluded
don't
in the
know that to
house?
be true. You know, they're small. That is a small town, and it's a circle, and
It's
it's
so small, Hannah. Y'all
yes,
don't even know how small it is. It's
exactly.
so
It's
teeny tiny.
small. So they are passing around, oh, Dee Dee did this to me. Oh, Dee Dee did this to me. Everybody wants attention. They don't want the attention that you've really done something to them. They like the attention they get
The
with
gossip.
telling people you did do something to them. So they're building off of Dee Dee's demise. Now everybody's like, oh, she did this to me. Oh, she stole my check. She stole my this. Everybody, she got away. She was running from just more than Rod. She's probably running away from
From
all
that
the
whole area.
gossipness. Yep. Yep. It was a small town gossip. Yep. And I just feel like Mama didn't stand up for everybody was able to do what they want because wasn't Dee Dee's mama sick? Didn't she get sick? Yeah. Dee
And
Dee was
you
adored.
know, the rumor or the whatever, the scuttlebutt is that Dee Dee poisoned her.
And see, that's a rumor in itself. And nobody stopped. Claude did not come down and say, stop saying that about your sister. He let it go on.
He let it happen.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. Cause that and look, and here she is, 10 years gone, and they still think that she had done poisoned that lady. And that lady took what, 6 years to die? It took a long time for her to perish. She was sick for a long time. So if she was poisoning her and it wasn't enough to do anything,
Well, you know, the evidence shows that, you know, Gypsy was a sick little girl. She needed the eye
Yes.
surgeries. She needed the feeding tube because she had failure to thrive. She was like 30 pounds. Um,
Hmm.
she needed everything that, you know, she had, all the procedures and everything. She needed all of that. So she's lying about any kind of medical abuse before the age of, let's see, 2005 was Katrina. She
Yeah, she
was,
left here when she was 14.
yeah, she
She was
was 14.
14.
So before the age of 14, there's no medical abuse. There's no physical abuse.
Mm-mm.
There's no forced in to be in the wheelchair because there's pictures of her outside of the wheelchair. There's testimony of her jumping up and down and running around. You know, her own thing, her chasing butterflies and fireflies in the yard. Okay. So we know before the age of 14, there is no abuse. There's no medical, there's no emotional, there's no physical, there's no nothing. Katrina hits. Now, I had thought that they were in the big shelter, but I learned that they were not.
No. They
Yeah,
got out of here before the storm hit.
that I did not know. Are you
No, they
serious?
had to. If Gypsy, I live here and I'm a nurse here in Louisiana, in New
Mm-hmm.
Orleans actually. Um, Sick children like her would have a social worker. You know, she's always in the hospital. She's always there. She's gonna have a social worker. And here in Louisiana, we do hurricane preparation all year long. I mean, we can't prepare for it
Mm-hmm.
like we wish we could, but we do the best we can. And in situations like Gypsy, her social worker would have been sure to have gotten her out of here before that storm hit.
Hmm.
They were
Because
not disheveled. They were not dirty. They were smiling. They looked clean. They didn't sit around here for a week with no air condition. I
all right.
promise you that.
So, but okay, did they lose property? Was their
I'm
home
sure she,
destroyed?
oh, yeah. Yes, I'm sure it
Okay.
was. Yeah.
Okay. Well, because the story from Gypsy is that nurse, uh, she found them or whatever. The nurse
She said a
found them.
nurse found them at the Superdome.
Yeah.
That's They lived in
Well,
Slidell. You wouldn't come into New Orleans from Slidell. Slidell's on the North Shore. So that's
huh.
away from the storm. You're not going to come into the storm.
I know. I'll get that information for my next live. But it was the same woman. I think she was a doctor or a nurse. I thought she was a nurse. Um, she's in the the video when they're moving into the pink house and Gypsy's banging the nail into
Yes.
the thing. Okay, that whole video, that there's a woman doctor or whatever there who supposedly met them, somewhere at the flooding area or wherever, and she arranged for the life flight out of there. So I'll get her name. I had her name at one point, but she's in that video. So 2005, they're flown out and they're put in temporary housing until the pink house is done. So that's where they started fudging the age. And I don't even know how they got away with it then. But, because they did no fudging of the age when they lived in Louisiana because her brother was alive. And they couldn't fake that she was the same age as her brother, Rod's son. So, none,
Oh,
none
you are right. I
yeah,
forgot
so
about Dylan.
yeah. So none of the faking of the faking of the age had to start in 2005 because in 2008 she's 14 in 2005. 2008 they move into the pink house, so she's a 5, 6, 7, 8. She's 17 when they move into the pink house, but she's telling everybody she's 12. In the newspaper article, she says she's 12.
That's crazy.
So that means Gypsy knew. Gypsy has always known. So the story Gypsy tells that I didn't know because I had no birthday candles on my cake. Shove that up your ass, Gypsy, because you knew. Okay, because now let's take this another step. She's 17 years old. She's telling everyone she's 12 in 2008. 2009, they joined VisionCon. 2009, she's sending naked pictures to the 30-year-old men who think she's 13 years old. Now, those men would not have kept that secret. Why? Because it's a federal charge. If everybody thinks this girl's 13 years old, that's a federal charge. If you got naked pictures of her on your phone or your computer.
Yeah.
Now, how did she get these men's emails? Where'd she get them? Because she had multiple men. Now, we know this because she admitted it to Nick. She told Nick, she was Ruby, and Ruby emerged into Gypsy and used Gypsy's hand to send the naked pictures. She never had sex with him, but she's lying to Nick because she had sex with Dan. She probably had sex with other men. Dan is not the guy in the hotel room at VisionCon either. That was a different
Oh,
Nick.
I think there was a lot of men.
Yeah, there's also a
Hi.
Brian. There's all kind of people. I think that David Blanchard David Blanchard. I think he was pimping her out because how did Gypsy get
Yeah.
these men's emails?
Yep.
How did the men get Gypsy's secret Facebook account? Why did none of these men? There were multiple men getting these naked pictures of her. Why did none of them go to David Blanchard and say, "Hey"? Because now remember, at that time they all thought Gypsy was not only paralyzed and 13, but they thought she was slow because she was pretending to be mentally slow. How do we know that? Because in 2009 CPS went to the house and they said she's mentally slow. All
Do you
right.
think David was? Do you,
Oh, hi, Donna.
Annie? Hi, Annie.
Okay,
That
do I
David was
think what?
making more, getting better money for younger pitchers. And just a real fast question I had to touch on. Y'all, Nicolette, just a few months younger than Gypsy. How could they
Yeah.
possibly?
Mm-hmm.
How could Gypsy possibly not know how old she was? Just a few months younger, and I'm sure Nicolette, if anyone asks, well, yeah, she's a few months younger than Nicolette, so that's Nicolette's 15. Okay, well, she's 15. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah,
now
they were just
I'm not
playing dumb. That's
familiar.
all that is.
Yeah, but I'm not familiar with what the relationship was. I know there was a relationship with Rod's kids, with Mia and Dylan. Is that his name, Dylan? Yeah. But I
Mm.
don't know what the relationship was with Gypsy and Nicolette.
Well, I understand that there might not have been a relationship, but in the same respect, how
Right.
being that um, I've heard accounts of where Dee Dee kind of saved Nicolette when the mama came and said I was having the baby, and Dee Dee bought her diapers, and I
Oh,
heard
that's right.
that Dee Dee was super kind about, and I always said that, well, to me Dee Dee was a good person and she saved Nicolette, instead of this woman coming and saying I'm having your husband's baby, and her getting all mad and saying, well, you need to get rid of it or this or that. And instead, Dee Dee's like, here's some diapers, here's some milk, here,
Okay, Whisper Ledger. I don't.
raise your
I don't.
child.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying,
Hmm. No, I was
but,
just
with
answering.
Nicolette being
I.
a little bit younger,
Yeah. Whisper Ledger is asking, why do I think Dee Dee lied about Gypsy's age? I don't think Dee Dee lied about her age. I think that they both kind of started when they moved away, and they both realized that, hey, we got this prop, we got a wheelchair, you got all these medical conditions. If we keep you as a child, we can get things from children's charities. That was the whole purpose of, but Dee Dee didn't force Gypsy to lie. Dee Dee didn't mislead Gypsy about her age. They were both in on the con, because without Gypsy pretending to be slow, mentally slow, pretending to be paralyzed, pretending to be a 13-year-old, 12-year-old child to move into the pink house, there would be no con. Dee Dee didn't do the con all by herself. Gypsy was the center of the con. Without Gypsy in that wheelchair, there was no con.
I
And
believe that.
Gypsy knew every step of the way, because she was 17 when they moved into the pink house. She was 18 in 2009. In 2009 is when she started the sending the naked pictures to the men. So then that means if Gypsy thought she was 13 years old in 2009, then as a 13-year-old child, she's willingly sending naked pictures to 30-year-old men at the age of 13.
Hmm.
Explain that. Go ahead, explain it.
She likes money.
I think that
She likes free
uh,
stuff.
the shed was kept. Her room was kept as a little girl's room, and the shed was kept as a playroom because she was doing little film. She was filming
Yeah.
herself as a little girl and sending that to men online and blackmailing them with it. Now, prove me wrong.
In that fetish
I,
community, huh?
I have a
Mm-hmm.
question.
Yep.
Um, is there anywhere? I mean, they were public. They were doing, when they went public and they showed the house. And look, y'all, I'm from South Mississippi, and I'm from Gulfport. I've lived in Pass Christian. My family's from Bay St. Louis. Waveland, Mississippi was zero. And I know what happened in the storm, and it kind of aggravates me when she uses the storm as an excuse, because we all went through the storm, and it is what it is. But is I just want to know, like, is when when they did like their interviews, did they ever is there any like videos where Dee Dee's actually like telling the wrong age? You know what I'm saying? Or do they just,
Oh,
it's kind of that, let people, she looks young, she acts young, so let people just use the imagination that she's young
Just
and
assume
not
that
really
she's
ever
young, right?
saying her correct age.
yeah.
Well, if you see her as a 13-year-old, okay, well, she's a 13-year-old. But to keep from lying and getting caught in a lie, they just let people imagine and go with what they think about her off of appearances instead of facts.
Right. Well, I think once they moved in, it was in all the papers that she was 12. So that's what the neighbors thought. So when Gypsy is writing to Aaliyah right before, and where she's talking about, she had a falling out with her mom, and Aaliyah's asking if her mom hates her, and Gypsy's telling her all about Nick. She's saying that she's 18. Well, she's not 18. She's like 20 something. I see. I'm not sure. I'll have to look when
Mm.
those dates were, but because she was 1 month shy of
But is it Gypsy
24.
saying or is it Dee Dee? Is it Gypsy saying it or is it Dee Dee saying the age? That's what I'm wondering.
You
Like,
mean
does
you
Dee
mean
Dee,
in
or is there any regulations? Is there any proof where Dee Dee said she's 12 when she's 15 or 30 or,
well
16? You know what I'm saying?
in the 2008 newspaper article, they identify her as Gypsy Rose, 12 years old. So
Okay.
someone had to tell them. Gypsy was sitting there
Exactly.
being interviewed. Dee Dee was being interviewed. So one of them,
Somebody, yep,
yeah, and
yep.
they were interviewed together. Gypsy and her mother were always interviewed together. So
And two can keep a
right.
secret if
So
one
it,
of
if
them's
if
not
Gy-
here.
if Dee Dee said I'm 12, then Gypsy heard her say I'm 12, and and all the
Yeah.
neighbors thought she was 12. You know, she was playing with the younger kids because they all thought she was 12 years old. But she wanted to
Exactly.
be with the older kids. She wanted to be with Aaliyah, the older teenagers. You know. So, but like I said, Gypsy was okay. Bottom line, from let's believe Gypsy. Let's believe she didn't have candles on her cake. So, she's that stupid. Let's believe that. Even though she never had any
Even though we saw pictures.
right, she never had any formal education, but she's reading 50 Shades of Grey, Harry Potter, and Game of Thrones. Okay, whatever. She never had any formal education, but she's in fetish groups. She's in dominant daddy little girl groups. All right. Yeah, whatever. Okay.
Hmm.
But so let's give her that. She doesn't know how old she is when she moves into the pink house, so she's just going along with it. By 2011, okay, 2009, she's sending naked pictures to multiple men. 2010, she's in VisionCon. She's backstage at the party room. She's in hotel rooms with men. 2011, she's in a BDSM fetish relationship, dominant submissive with Dan Glidewell, where she uses, hang on, multiple personalities, multiple characters. All right? So, 2011, she runs off to be with Dan. She has a binder with her social security card and her age and all of that, prove her age to Dan. Dan can't go with her because Dan's on parole and has a new baby and a wife. All right. He has no intention of going with her. He has a past history of the reason he was in the hospital is because he was beat up for being with some other young girl. All right. Dan has a history. So from 2011, she knows how old she is. She knows how old she is. She knows she can walk. She knows she's not sick. She pew pews her mom 10 times. Her mom lies for her. So from 2011, she's got no excuses, no nothing. No abuse is going on. No, nothing is going on. She could have walked out of that house at any time. She's not afraid of her mother. Her mother's afraid of her. So why in 2015 or 2014, 15, whatever, when she's writing to Aaliyah, okay, 2011 is also the instance where her father and Mia see the Facebook account, probably Candy, where she's doing all the sexy pictures. 2011 is also when she sends Mia, her 10-year-old sister Mia, to Dan Gladwell's Facebook account. What's the excuse for that? What's the reasoning for that? Was she procuring Mia for the guys at VisionCon? Was that what was going on? There's no reason
Wow.
for her to send Mia Dan Gladwell's Facebook account because she was in a BDSM relationship with Dan Gladwell at the time. That's factual testimony from Nick's trial. Or Nick's appeal, not his trial, his appeal. So from 2011, Gypsy has no excuses. Why in 2014, or 15, whenever she's writing to Aaliyah, because by the way, the instance of sending the the Candy Facebook account to Rod, they blamed that on Aaliyah. They said Aaliyah helped her dress up like that, acting like Gypsy is slow. All right. So when Gypsy is writing to Aaliyah, why is she saying she's 18 when she's not 18? She's like 23. And she's telling Aaliyah all about Nick. Why, if she's in this secret relationship with Nick where she's planning her mother's murder, why is she telling anybody about Nick? Let alone the neighbor who they blamed this other stuff on. Because she needed someone to know about Nick, because the plan was always to set Nick up. The plan was to say, this guy on the online's obsessed with me. I didn't know he was going to come to my house and do this and try to steal me. That's what she was going to try to say. Nick did this, took her mother out, and was trying to kidnap her. I don't think Nick was supposed to leave that house that night. I really don't.
I don't either, Annie.
I think but see here, even if, say, she had done something to Nick and they found him on the floor and she spun her story, they would have gone to Nick and got all his computers. They wouldn't have, see, Gypsy had already destroyed her computer. Nick saved everything. Everything we have now to prove what she did, how she groomed him, is on Nick's computers because he loved her. She was his whole world. And he saved everything on that computer and his phone. So somebody argue with me.
I have a question.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, but you think about it, and like she put on there on the Facebook page, what she did to her, what she said. Well, as she went on as Nick saying,
Right.
what he did to the mom
Right.
and her, and she mailed, quote unquote, mailed the knife to his house.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think she, I wonder if she had a plan to get herself out of there and hide from Nick once that weapon got there, and then find a way to get him. Well, he came and he took it, and then I ran away from him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
She's
because
a manipulating little.
yeah, but she still would have had to explain, how come you can walk around, girl? How come, for years everybody
Yeah.
thought you were paralyzed? Why are you walking around?
Well, Ding Dong the Witch is dead, and
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, and it was like as soon as they threw water on the witch, everyone, she miraculously got up and she was cured. It took water on the witch, as we should say, for her to be able to walk.
Well,
Kind of sad.
there was a second a post that Gypsy deleted. She put, and I smilled the daughter too, and she
Yeah,
deleted
that's
it.
what
She
I'm
deleted that
saying.
one. Yeah, I think
That's what I'm
that.
saying. Wonder if she sent the knife and then she was gonna wait for it to get there, then try to find her way out of there. That way he could get, and then she would go missing,
Yeah,
quote unquote.
personally, I think that, like I said, I believe that Nick wasn't supposed to leave that house that night. But once something fell through and she had to leave, because if she had planned to leave with him, she would have had her bus ticket, and they didn't. She didn't have any bus ticket, you know, and that was a crimp in the plan. So, we can speculate all we want, but my point is, from 2011 sinks her. It sinks all of her bullshit. She cannot say she was afraid her mother was going to cut her throat, and that's why she killed her. No, she can't say that, because, she cannot say, like, oh, the faking of the age. She knew how old she was. We know as of 2011 she knew how old she was. I know that she knew how old she was when she moved into that pink house. And she told everybody she was 12. And they started doing that to scam the charities. and to get free housing. I would probably lie about my age if it got me free housing.
Yeah, it was like their big break, you know.
You
But
know,
nobody's going to argue with you because it sounds probable, you know. Like
like
the whole Rod thing. Everybody wants to say what a terrible father Rod is. Um, Nobody has ever really said, well, maybe it was because she was so inappropriate, actually. Maybe they were protecting me and Dylan from
yeah.
being assaulted by her,
Well, that's
or
why I
protecting.
don't. I don't understand this whole Lifetime series. Like Dylan not being there says a lot. It says
It
a whole
really
bunch.
does.
And it's like nobody ever talks about it. Nobody's ever like, if this whole family is so tight knit and they all support Gypsy, where the hell's the brother?
Hmm.
He's got stories. He grew up with her. I'll bet you he's got a lot of stories. And he just didn't want to
Well,
lie.
and that's the thing. People say she didn't have a relationship with Rod. I believe that she did.
Oh, there's all, yeah. Which is it? You had no relationship whatsoever, or you paid her, child support all this time. You called her on the phone all this time. Calling her for birthdays. There's emails where Dee Dee is telling, they're afraid of a storm coming, and Dee Dee's telling Christy, "You guys can come here."
Hmm.
That was not. They had relationships. All right, Rod isn't gonna, you know, isn't gonna have. He was on her medical. Rod at one point said Gypsy was on his medical. So you're not going to follow up on what's coming out of your medical for this person. They all play dumb conveniently when they have no answer for anything. And Gypsy's lies are so broad and so out there and so unconvincing, quite frankly. And I hold accountable Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil gave her an audience of millions to lie to. She lied
That's
her
when
ass off.
I
Okay,
stopped watching Phil.
and when he did that, the reason he didn't call, because Dr. Phil is known for calling people on their bullshit. Right? His whole
Yeah.
show is about that. Giving lie detector tests, my God. All right? That's his whole show. And he has this person who sits there and says, "My mother taught me how to be a very good liar." Okay, pull out the lie detector test, Dr. Phil. All right? But he did that because what did he spring shortly after that? He started his podcast. What was his inaugural show of his podcast? The Poison Thorn of Gypsy Rose. He used that to launch his podcast, and his podcast a lot of money for him. So he didn't call her out on her duping delight when she was on that Mommy, Dad, and Dearest, and she comes out and she says, "I've never been honest before, except to my lawyers, and I haven't even been honest with them." That's duping delight, Dr. Phil. But he doesn't show that clip. And then she says, she has the balls to say, "Nick was the first person I told I could walk." No, Dan Glidewell was the first person who told you could walk. David Blanchard knew you could walk. All those people at the Vision Card knew you could walk. Lots of people knew she could walk. But what did she say about Nick? How do you feel about him now? He's disgusting. He should have been, if he would have been the bigger person and, gone to the authorities. No, Gypsy, you couldn't have got up your ass and gone to the authorities any time in how many years? Long before you met Nick, you could have gone to the authorities. I mean, just the audacity of her lies, the sheer, you know, amount of it, the assault to our intelligence. That's what gets me. That's what gets me. Just that she thinks we are all stupid.
I agree, Annie. It is insulting to our intelligence. she's not a smart girl. And I have a question for her. If she didn't know she was being abused until her attorney, Mike Stanfield, told her in prison or jail, why did she have why was she afraid of her mother and had to have her, you know, what do you guys say, murdered?
Right.
I mean her whole what is it, motive is gone right there. If she didn't know she wasn't being abused until she was told, which is absurd. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
knows when they're being treated badly. Um,
Well, look at this recent.
and
Have you seen the recent thing that she posted? This big long thing about people
her
not believing
manifesto,
her. Yeah, yeah. And her new manifesto. She's got so many of them, right? But
right?
her most recent manifesto, where she all of a sudden she lists the stuff, her mother did, and all of a sudden there's a new one. Her mother
Yes,
bound her breasts. That
Yeah,
has
where'd
yes.
that one come from?
never, never in all these years, all of a sudden,
Never heard that.
right,
Never heard that.
right. Hmm. And
You
then
know,
there's all these pictures of her falling out of her bra. You know?
Or the bra
oops.
strap
She doesn't even
showing,
wear a
always.
bra. She didn't wear a bra when she went to testify at Nick's trial. She bounced right in there. If you ever watch it, it's very obvious she was not wearing not a proper bra. In the chat, we were talking a little bit about Christy and how she might be, culpable on some level or, involved. And I've only been on one other panel live, and I've mentioned this before, so forgive me if people have heard this, but Christy was on a live panel once, and she was open to questions. She was trying to do some damage control. So she was on, with Hello Starlight and a lot of people who are anti-Gypsy. And she was asked, why didn't Rod pay child support for 10 years? Or why was he behind all the time? And she said that they were caught up the night of the crime, that they wrote a check that night. And she literally said that. I mean, in full. The night before Dee Dee that the crime went down. Rod wrote a check and paid in
Well,
full.
was that back pay? Because Gypsy was an adult
Yes,
at this time.
it was back back pay because he had been in the rears forever. But how convenient. She knows this is going to happen. I mean, it would have been, I don't know. I'm sure they wouldn't have been held accountable for the child support if the mother is no longer around. Maybe it would have supposedly went to Gypsy. If I don't know. All I know is I found that like a big red flag that the night before Rod wrote a check out to Dee Dee to look good. I don't know. Maybe the law enforcement would find it. It would be in evidence. I don't know. It just was really odd to me. Maybe it's a nothing burger. I
No,
don't know.
and then Christy's always, an important part of this because, like I was saying, back when I watched Mommy Dead and Dearest, I was watching Christy, and then since then I've, paid attention to everything she posts and all of that. And I believe that Christy saw those crime scene photos. She's always known exactly who Gypsy is and what she's capable of, and she's afraid of her. And, in the back of it, I don't think Christy wanted her to get the plea deal. I think Christy wanted her to go to prison
I
because,
think they're all afraid of her.
yes, for the past 10 years, Christy has had to sit and think, and it was Christy who started all the Facebook stuff. It was Christy who
Right.
started the social media stuff. And
Testing
so,
out
yeah, I
words.
think all this time, for the past 10 years, Christy has been thinking, how do I deal with Gypsy when she gets out? Because I've got to deal with her when she gets out. And Christy
Wasn't
did not want her in her house. You know,
No,
it,
Rod didn't. Rod didn't. I think he was looking into institutionalizing her upon parole at one point a few years before her release. But then they're advocating for her to get out to be released early so they look good on paper, I guess.
hmm
But yeah, I mean, they know exactly who she is. It's blatantly obvious. But we were just saying in the chat that Christy was involved because Rod was gone all the time, and She
Mm-hmm.
hated Dee Dee so much. I mean, that's obvious. And maybe she was supportive of what Gypsy was going to do or knew about it somehow.
Yeah. I feel that Gypsy talks too much. And
Yeah.
so does Christy. Christy, look, I just wrote in the chat. She's not a smart man. She is Rod didn't graduate from high school. I don't think Christy did either. When I noticed that Christy didn't have good sense, she was on a live and she was on Bree's panel and they were fighting, boxing, whatever they were doing. And she came in and said, everybody just needs to love one another. You can just call me if you need to talk to somebody. Well, why would we need to talk to you? Like, what are you doing? Like, if
Well,
we
that's why
want
when
to,
people call her Gypsy Manson, and she is not a mastermind. Like, I mean, Manson manipulated many people. I
I
mean,
think
college
they're not
students.
lying on each other. Christy, there. Remember, everybody's from this small town that for generations to generations to come, they've had the rivalries go on between the families for years. I think that Christy was that the what is Justin Bieber's the what's her name? She stood in the background and watched Rod move, and she knew his every move. And when she found her way to get in there, now she got him. I think she wanted that position for longer than she said she did. She pretended to be his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And why would
Yeah.
you want to be a best friend to somebody who's got two women pregnant at the same time? Like,
Right. No common sense.
and he kissed you on the wedding day. What are you doing? She been hooking up with Rod. That was her flame in high school. Nobody just knew it.
It's not a sign of intelligence, that's for sure.
No.
They aren't smart people. Gypsy has gotten away with all this for so long, I believe, because she has a team behind her. I mean, people, you know, covering up her tracks and doing damage control and all of this stuff. I mean, look at that book she wrote. I mean, she's so proud of that trash and so clueless of or as how it comes across. I mean, no
But now,
shame. I
now
mean,
look, she's rewriting the book, right? Because it's all, yeah, in her recent thing, that'll all be corrected in the reprint of my book.
okay, okay,
How
it'll
was she
all
going
be
to
better.
correct a corn book? I mean, that was corn.
Yeah,
Corn to it. It was
it
gonna
is.
have a bunch more news stories of corn.
Yeah,
More corn.
Yeah.
and that's the
But
thing about the book, the over exaggerating of the sexual stuff. Like, okay, she claims that the barbecue sauce. Did Dee Dee not find the tub full of barbecue sauce?
And her coop would
Come
be
on.
on fire. Put some barbecue down there.
Exactly. Now,
Keep
now,
burning.
okay, so look at what Bree, just like a couple weeks ago or whatever, I heard Bree on a live or whatever, and she was saying, Dee Dee never let Gypsy out of her sight. Okay. How'd she make the hundreds of videos, fetish videos for Nick? How did she send these naked pictures to these men? How did she fill the tub up with barbecue sauce?
well, and
If Dee Dee never let her out of the sight, how did Gypsy do any of this?
I mean, I mean, she
And them
they
won't admit to any of that. So I guess that's how they rationalize it. I don't know.
well, just look at those people that she surrounds herself with. They're all not very intelligent.
No, they
I mean,
aren't. They sure
and
aren't.
she's got a world of people questioning her every. I mean, and just the fact that she has no shame. If I had childhood pictures of myself looking like her,
I would
I would
die.
run and hide and never show my
Me
face. I
too.
wouldn't try to have a nose job and post myself into provocative clothing because think I look hot. I mean, she's just making. She's just
No, look
she's
at
just
Casey
everything that's
Anthony.
come out.
You know, Casey Anthony has tried to come
Right.
back on social media, and it's not happening for her. You know, the same thing should be with
And can you
Gypsy.
imagine
If I
being
were
compared?
Gypsy and, you know,
Uh,
if I
I'm
were
sorry, I
Gypsy
didn't
and
mean to
had her
interrupt, but I
history,
mean,
no, that's good. If I were Gypsy, I would go off into, I would not be online, or I would be online. I wouldn't have a following. If I wanted to be on the internet, I'd have a fake person. You know, I'd explore the internet as a fake person. There's no
Right.
freaking
right,
way I would let
but not
people.
as yourself.
No,
Yeah, the
you
audacity
know,
that
I
you're
would
being
go off.
compared to Casey Anthony. I mean, can you imagine somebody comparing you to Casey Anthony, the most hated, vile mother, and then she's
Hmm.
announcing her pregnancy, and the whole world is like, "Oh my God, this woman's going to have a child, a vulnerable infant," and there's all this public outrage. But man, she just keeps coming back for more.
And
That's
then
not a sign of a smart
she
person.
keeps
I
getting
think it's part of
attention.
her illness, her
Yep,
microdeletion.
it
You
is.
think?
Right, Anne.
Hell
Right,
yeah.
Anne.
Well, people
Absolutely.
seem to forget, she still has this microdeletion. It didn't go away. She
She's not
still has
unscathed.
it. Her symptoms are better now that she's grown out of it, but the microdeletion is still present.
That the mental part is was what we're seeing. That part is real bad.
Yeah,
And that's why I don't put it past her to try to fake
this baby.
a pregnancy and a baby. Yes, thank you. And then,
Exactly.
I mean, the and I sent you that the influencer from Scotland who was last
Mm-hmm.
week who
Yes.
and then she faked the passing of her baby, and it's all over the news. And here's Karma Collector who is
Who's
the
been
Mr.
saying this?
Right, but everybody dismisses him because,
I
he's
know.
not very credible. But he's
Well, did you
right. I mean,
see? Do you
I
see what
love
Karma
Karma
did?
Collector and I believe everything he says.
I
right
think that
on.
to see him coming out and saying that there is no baby, if the what Natasha is arguing with Bree and Sheena and Gypsy, that you mean to tell me for a year and a half you've known this man was supposedly dangerous, but you mock him and you poke at him, and now we need to save the vulnerable child. Well, who dangles a child in front of a man that you say is dangerous? Like, make you thought he was dangerous, so you decided to mock him. Like, you're brave. Like, why would you wanted him to come and get you, and you invited him in? So what? Why are you doing that? That is scripted. There's no way I'm going to tease somebody that I think would hurt my baby. I'm going to get off the internet until the threat is clear. There is no threat. That's grade school. Sticking your tongue at
That's what
somebody and running.
this fighting between Bree and Natasha, I think, is to keep that Karma guy in the public
Yeah.
eye,
He's not
to
scared though, and he's not going to
to draw
stop.
attention to him. Yeah. Hey guys, keep talking. I gotta go to the
Yeah,
bathroom.
he's
Keep talking.
unscathed. Okay, honey.
She's safe.
Yeah,
I don't
I do
know. It
believe
just
Karma
it.
Collector. I know people think he's
Go
crazy,
ahead.
but I don't. God
I
gives us
don't.
discernment for a reason, right, Hannah?
Right. I don't think the danger is them. Because to think that you say this man is he's so foul, he needs to be done with, away with, but you stick your tongue out at him and throw a rock and then run. It's
I
like,
tried to have a conversation with Sheena about that the other day, and she talks like she's 2 years old. You can't have a conversation with
you
her.
sure
She's too
can't.
immature. I'm
It's
like, if
their
she's so
mind.
afraid, then get off of the internet. Well,
Yep.
she has a right to be on the internet. You know what, Sheena? If my child was in danger and it had to do with the internet, I'd get the fuck off the internet.
Exactly. Y'all wouldn't be, you'd be like, where's
But
Gypsy? Oh, she did.
that's just common sense. And
Right.
again, everybody's poking holes through all her, you know,
I
theories,
think that their
and
minds are mimicking hers, because I heard Sheena say it's her First Amendment right. Remember, we used to say crap like that when
Yes.
we were in kindergarten. Like, it's my First Amendment right. Once we found out about right, and we felt like we should tell everybody. So that's a right that you want to exercise. But what about the right of your child so that she would be free and clear of danger?
Hmm.
Like, when does her rights kick in?
Exactly.
That don't make sense to me.
None of it does.
But then I think that this fight is scripted because I still and if I'm your friend, you aren't fixing to be on a live calling me dumb, stupid, and the R word, and then
Exactly.
I'm supposed to be like,
Just
okay,
sit there like nothing's
right?
going
I'm supposed to,
on.
right? Like I'm gonna just ignore it. Like I won't address it at all. That's because you know it's coming. And then when Bree
Hmm.
did that the other day in the chat, I said, wait a minute, she can't even keep her own storyline straight. Oh, I'm not rad for real. I will now I can't unsee that. I cannot unsee that. So there's no way that that battle brought
Why
Natasha
is it that
$700.
why
It's a
is it
money
Hannah?
game.
Go,
Huh?
go ahead. Sorry. Why do you think Gypsy never speaks for herself? I mean, she has all these brutes, these people. She never addresses
Because because she
this is
doesn't want to
not.
be appear to be the bad guy.
That's right. She
But
uses
you
them.
are
Those
the
are
bad
weapons.
guy.
Yeah, those are her weapons. Because
I don't know. I,
she
I
turned.
thought, yeah, it had
Remember
something to do
when
with
she
her
was
role.
like, "My friend Bree, she gets bullied about her weight. Why would you turn your bullies on to Bree?" Because the first thing I thought was, let me go see what Bree gets bullied for. Because I was like, now what do you think
It's
the world
whatever
did?
to deflect off of the truth.
Yep.
Annie, we
Well,
just taking over, girl.
that's
No,
fine. I
but
had
doesn't it feel like a relief to be able to say your point without somebody being in the chat? Those people are watching us. They are
They
in the
are
chat
watching us.
and everybody's unblocked them and told them to come in and have a seat. Oh, they're welcome in here. Y'all are
That's
safe in
bullshit.
here. That's right. I haven't undone none of my blocks and I've added more to it.
I've never blocked anybody. Gypsy
Well, you better
responded to
start.
me recently.
you, it's never too late to start because they're after us, girl.
Well,
did you
I
say
this is
did you say
yeah.
Gypsy responded to you?
Yes, and I have never. This is like the third time I've been on a live, and I comment heavily, but I is there an echo?
I'm not hearing it.
No.
No.
I
Okay.
hear it.
Do you? I do too.
I'm
I have
delayed.
bad reception. I have a big storm here, and I'm way up in the mountains, so forgive me. No, she did. I just I wrote to her in the first person in a comments section in a pro gypsy video, a small uh, content creator, a young girl, and I just said, Gypsy, if you would just humble yourself, admit that you've lied about most everything, and take some time off, lay low. Most people might be more people are forgiving,
Mhm.
and she came back at me. I have it, Annie. I can send it to you.
Yeah, I'd like to
Um,
see it.
okay, yeah. She just, I will never, ever admit that my mother was not my abuser. I mean, she's just holding on for dear life.
Well, she can't. She can't because if she does, that it nullifies her plea deal because her plea deal
Exactly.
is based on that she was abused. Okay, let's take just what the prosecutor said. He said, I have enough right now to convict both of them for first degree murder, but it would not be fair to put Gypsy in prison after she's lived a life of prison with her mother. Now, they never had to take that into court and prove that. Never. Because that was the stipulation for the plea deal. The prosecutor said, I'm giving her this plea deal because she's had a horrible life with her mom. So that's
Right.
mitigating circumstances.
So you're saying that if the mitigating circumstances are proven to be false, people always
For
say she will never return to prison over this whole crime. Can she be retried?
uh, okay, a plea deal can be reversed. It is so extremely rare because a court just never wants to do that. You know, once because if a court does that, what it's saying is that it missed it. It made a mistake, and
Right.
the court agreed to that because the prosecutor took that into the court and said, I have all the evidence that this is true. You know,
And he
when
did use
when a,
that.
when a when a defense attorney and a prosecutor agree on a plea deal, that is saying to the court, we have the evidence to prove this. Okay, so they went, both the prosecutor and defense attorney went before the court and said, we can prove what we're saying to you. We can prove that Gypsy had this life of prison, but they couldn't, because had they taken it into court, you know, had that defense attorney taken that into court and said to that jury, her mother controlled her, her mother medically abused her mother physically abused her mother kept her a prisoner all her life, what would that prosecutor have done? Would that prosecutor have had an answer? Yes, he would have. He would have pulled out 2011 and he would have said, okay, Gypsy, you say your mother controlled you. Did she control you in 2011 when you ran off with Dan Glidewell? Hmm? Did she control you in 2009 when you were sending naked pictures to 30-year-old men who thought you were 13 years old?
Well,
Did
I
she
didn't hear
control you
that.
when you were making these hundreds of videos for Nick? That's what that prosecutor would have done. That
And that's
prosecutor
why
would
she
have,
took a plea.
right. So
Okay, well,
she accepted the plea deal. Now here's my question: is that prosecutor connected to VisionCon? Is her attorney connected to VisionCon? Were they
I
handling
say
Gypsy to keep her mouth shut?
I say yes.
sure. Let's run with that. I mean, anything's possible. I mean, look at
Mm-hmm.
your JFK Annie. Look at the JFK conspiracy and Marilyn Monroe.
That's right.
I
I'm a
mean,
conspiracy theorist.
but you're not karma collector. So, but again, why? So it is plausible to bring her back to the table, but they won't do it because because of their reputations. That Missouri won't admit to this
Right.
mistake.
So what the only thing we can do is make a, right now this is in the, okay, back when she was given the plea deal, that was basically to get the public to, you know, all this, all the Munchausen stuff was to get the public back on her side, because when she walked into that courtroom for that hearing and they started having all the evidence and stuff, and you remember the video of she's looking behind her
Oh,
at
that's my
her
favorite
dad and
video of
stuff,
her. I love
yeah,
it.
she's
Yeah,
like, fuck,
she's
you
scared
know,
shitless.
yeah, it's like, so they had to all go, they had to go into spin control. It's like she's walking around because the neighbors all went, what the fuck? You told us since 2008 you moved into this house. We thought you were paralyzed and slow. We thought you were, you know, 13 years old and you were
David just
17
said
years
she
old.
wasn't.
And she
David was
also had
putting
planned
on
to
a
go back to that
front.
pink house. So she didn't want
Yes,
to lose face with that. She
yes.
thought she was going to go live her life in that little pink house.
When
She
David
really
was
thought.
being interviewed, he was in the interrogation thing with the police. He said, geez, man, what do we tell all these people? I have to go back and tell them we made her our mascot. Mascot of what? Get her little suit back. All you have to do is take her suit back. Like, what do you need to tell anybody? I think that she was on the dark web of the VisionCon.
Oh,
She was the
oh
star
yeah.
of the VisionCon. I think
Mm-hmm.
that was a porn thing or sport. Yeah, that's what I
I
think that was.
I think
Yep.
they were. I
I do
think they
too,
were
Annie.
using that costume, that Star Wars costume, to sneak her out of the house, and she can walk around in it. I really do.
Oh, and nobody would recognize her.
Mm-hmm. I believe, for entertainment, whatever, I believe that they were pimping her out, and they had to shut her up.
Yep.
I really do believe that. I believe that there's a whole, because there's a whole bunch of shit about VisionCon that people don't know. There's a whole background
It's
in.
creepy.
Yes, there's a whole
Really?
background in it, and
You need to have a live
they
on.
they were doing, okay. There's a whole world of you know, BDSM cosplay. There's a whole world of it.
Dark shit.
Okay, yeah. There's a, you know, where they dress up in costumes and, you know, they go online and they film themselves, and there's a whole underworld out there on the web that most of you people don't know anything about. And it's been it's been active for decades.
Thank
Back in
you.
2011, I was on Second Life, and we had that was it was an online game that you put on your computer, and you could go into this Second Life and explore thousands of virtual worlds. You could go to a world where there was dinosaurs. You can go. You joined whole families of vampires. You had to be invited in to a vampire family. Okay, and then there were okay, did you ever see the movie True
Ew.
Blood? The show True Blood, the
Yes.
TV show True Blood. They had in the it was a game. It's a gameplay. It's called LARP, live action role play games. Okay, and you join these different communities. There were discos where I would go and dance. You have an avatar. It's a real world walking. It's a real person. It's a computer simulated person, and you join all of these worlds and you surf the web. You connect with other people's computers, and they connect with your computer, and you're surfing the whole entire internet with them. That's what we were doing in 2011. And in that Second Life, there were dungeons where you would play
Ew.
role play BDSM. Okay. And so when I was reading Gypsy's text messages with Nick, she's talking in role play talk. You would set the scene. You would say, okay, my name on I haven't used it in years, but my name was Red Garters. Okay, so I would say Red Garters walks into the room and sits down on such and such's lap and whispers in his ear. You're setting the scene, and then you would play all night. You would interact with the other avatars in that world. So Gypsy was in Second Life. I'm pretty sure of it. Just from the way she was acting and stuff. I'm trying to prove it, but I'm pretty sure. I've had somebody say to me that she ran one of the dungeons and that she's pretty sure Gypsy was an avatar in there.
So,
But
so
go
back
ahead.
to the question about her and this baby. I mean, think about those videos of Ken driving, because she's such a rage baiter. Ken driving 85 miles an hour with her baby improperly, unsafely buckled into a car seat. Like Karma Collector said, she's setting up for the babies, not to be around anymore because how the baby's going to be a toddler soon. She
Mm-hmm.
can't be.
How's she gonna get away with that? You
How
can't.
long is she gonna? Yeah. So
What she said.
she's. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
It's fine.
No, I don't know who this is.
Oh,
This Knots, I don't know who that is. Does anybody else know that person?
No,
I
Yeah,
don't.
ma'am.
I'm your cousin.
I don't recognize
No, I don't either.
the name either.
So I'm going to drop them because I don't know who they are or how they got up here.
No, please don't!
Okay,
Yeah,
I
I get
can't even.
it.
Hold on a second. It's not even letting me drop them.
Bite
Who
them,
the
Annie,
hell are
bite
you?
them.
No contributors yet.
Gypsy. It's Gypsy.
Bite them, Annie, bite them. Get them.
I don't.
Get
I'm
it.
clicking on. You know what? I'm clicking on them. Hold on.
They've
There you go.
infiltrated
Disconnect,
you.
and then I'll block you if you try to get up here again. I will block you.
It just.
My question, though, Audrey, about the baby is if we're going to go that route, what that means is the hospital lied, Lifetime lied, and covered it
Mhm.
up. So,
Well, Lifetime is kind of a. I think Lifetime was trying to do her dirty on season 2. I think they figured it out. And the
They were very
hospital,
dirty to her on season
yes,
two.
they were. If you watch, and the hospital looked staged. That room, she didn't have an IV. I mean, her ultrasounds, the techs had no gloves. One of the ultrasound pictures was of a boy. I don't know, Annie. I think that it's
I know
plausible.
that I have a lot of questions too. I'm not saying I don't have questions. I'm saying my main questions is this baby does not appear to be growing,
No, not at all.
you know?
And I looked into that a little bit because I heard more, but more, okay, so the baby has an odd cry. And I've tried to bring this to several content creators, but the only one who ever really listened to me was Rose and Chewy. And so, has anybody noticed the baby has an odd cry? So she sounds like a cat. Several people have said that. And I just Googled cats cry, baby sounding like a baby crying like a cat, sounds like a cat. And there's a syndrome called cat's cry syndrome. And it's a micro deletion. And it is a deformity of the larynx, but she checks all the boxes. There's microcephaly, there's slow development, you know, I can't remember them all. And sometimes you'll find it under a French name, and I cannot speak French, like cat to cry or something. And
Prudisha.
thank you. Thank you. Yes, Hannah. So there is an actual, I mean, the baby has an odd sounding cry. You can hear her on the live streams with Bree when they were watching the Lifetime shows. And so there's that. There's definitely that. I mean, that baby crawling the other day, the one little pink one, that left leg or right leg looked lame and so tiny for an 9-month-old baby.
But then she busts out a picture holding a baby that's almost as big as she is.
The Gerber baby, yeah.
The baby Bam Bam's what we've been calling it.
Oh, okay. So transparent. She's just so transparent. Everything is just, and she likes to rage bait. So, there's that. So she keeps relevant by posting Ken driving 85 miles an hour with the baby not buckled in. And here we are talking about it all, keeping her relevant. So I hate myself.
Well, no, the thing is, then if there's no baby, I mean, I struggle with a couple different things. Either the baby has the microdeletion and they're hiding that, or if there's no baby, then that means Lifetime lied to their entire audience. And they will be held as responsible for that if they lied, because the baby was on the show.
But did y'all notice in one of her long things in this last couple of days, she said something about the show being based on real life experiences.
What?
So yeah, in one of her long monologues that she's been writing.
Cover her ass. Yep.
She put something in there about it's based on not a true story. I don't know how she said it, but she said it.
She did.
Oh
She
my
inferred
God.
that it wasn't. She inferred that it was not true. Yeah, that they were actors.
Although my show is about my life, it's based on. It was just weird the way she worded it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is just
It gets
ridiculous.
crazier every day. And to all you gypsy goons out there, no, we don't want to see a baby. We're not trying to see a child. We don't give a shit what this baby looks like.
Exactly.
We just want to know if it's real or not.
I want to know if it's
We
real.
want
I
the
want to
truth.
know. I want to know if it's real. If it is real, I want to know that it's safe.
Yeah. And if it's in her care, it's not safe if she's practicing a cheerleader routine all day.
I think that she doesn't have she has supervised visitation. She does not have that baby full time.
Yeah, that's what if the baby is real, that's what I think. I don't think she's got. I think it's out of her care.
And I think that Ken tried to shave his
her
head
pregnancy-
because to
her pregnancy
delude
was just so-
defects.
I feel like I'm dominating the conversation. I should probably.
You're
step
not,
down.
Audrey. You're not.
No,
You're not.
you're not,
You're right.
Audrey.
Her belly was crazy. Her belly
This
was.
is healthy. What we've been experiencing is loosely based on false narratives.
And look,
Yes,
Hannah,
thank
I've
you.
been off of TikTok for a couple of days because I just couldn't take it anymore. I don't
Yeah.
understand all this. Let's be peaceful and be friends.
Girl, be
Oh no no
quiet.
No.
They're
no no
they're
no no no
put they're
no
putting
no
plants in our in our chats. So
Y'all
somebody's
are dangerous
monitoring us
ass
at all
people.
times.
no.
Mm-mm.
You're not going to
Yeah, I
have
agree, Anna.
with me. You're not going to manipulate TikTok for over a year, and YouTube and all of this over a year. You're not going to manipulate this audience for over a year, and then we're supposed to all play nice. No 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 no. Doesn't work out that way. They have bullied, they have tried to discredit anyone who challenges Gypsy's story, anyone who comes out and says, like I'm not even a creator. I'm very small. Like when I started this I had 500 people. I've got I think 1700 people now. These people that are doing this, some have like 10,000 followers, tens of
Right.
thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers. I'm not important. I'm not special. I'm not anything. But the reason Bree was over here in my live a couple of times is because I've been talking about shit Gypsy does not want talked about, which is 2011, which destroys her whole story.
Well, they're trying to censor us. I
Yeah.
mean, even people
They
in the chat,
are.
like me.
They're
I can't.
censoring and trying to bully us into shutting up, and
That's
we're
right. They're
not.
called monitoring spirits. Cause it does every time I see double standards, I'm like, y'all do realize that Bree, when she fell out the other day, that double standards gave her that recording. She gave it to her and she's like, I never seen it in real time. So we're gonna both watch it. So why would you give somebody a recording that hurt her feelings, and it hurt her feelings, and the people in the recording have apologized and she has accepted the apology? Why would you bring that back up to her? That, and you're my friend. Like, who wants to keep their friend down and depressed and suppressed? That's not a friend. And then you come to our lives to see if we're talking about the crappy thing that you did.
Yeah, I broke away whenever Jen started attacking Ivory Rose. Ivory Rose knows, not the other one that
Woo woo.
joined. Yeah,
Woo woo.
uh, yeah, not woo woo. But when I started breaking away, and that's when I blocked all the big creators because I did not want. When Jen attacked Ivory Rose and started telling all that personal information about her father or whatever, it was like
Hmm.
I just thought personally, like if I had a girlfriend and I shared personal shit like that with my girlfriend, and she turned around and told the world because she was pissed at me that day, I
Right.
mean, that would fucking destroy me, you know? Because you trust your girlfriends. And, these billboard people, they all put out that they were like, all tight and, they were celebrating when they made the money for the billboard. And then it wasn't 2 days later that they were all attacking each other. And that's when I started to see this is manufactured bullshit and I don't want a part of it. So I distanced myself from that. Well, then they all started coming over to my lives and trying to continue the drama. And it's like I had to say, hey, no, I don't want that here. And it's like, but now
We're trying
it's
to
like,
intimidate you,
that's,
and all we don't
yeah,
do that.
that's not working anymore. That's not working.
No.
It's not work. They can't create the drama. Nobody's watching it. So now let's all make nice now. Let's agree to disagree about Gypsy Rose. Well, there's no agreeing to disagree because either you believe Gypsy was justified in what she did, or you believe she wasn't. You believe the lies about Dee Dee, or you don't. There's no middle ground. There's no neutral area. And I'm not going to make nice with the people that have demeaned Dee Dee for, you know, for Gypsy. I'm not going to do that. And that's
Right,
exactly
Annie.
what
There's no
Bree has
gray
done.
in this. There's no gray area. It's black and white.
Yes, that's exactly. There is no,
Period.
and I'm always told, my son tells me all the time, Mom, you don't see gray areas. And I'm like, no, there's right and wrong. There's truth
Hmm.
and there's lies. I don't see
Yes.
gray areas. So,
Hold on. The
Okay.
dog stepped on the other phone that I have the thing connected to,
The
and
dog.
so he put himself on the panel, but he don't want to say nothing.
Oh, that's your baby.
Yes, that I have the other look. We have to protect ourselves, and the only way you can protect yourself is by making the lights go up for TikTok. TikTok leaves you alone when they think you're in here doing what they're asking you to do. Annie, you see, you haven't gotten a puzzle, so it
Yeah, and I
see
always get
because
them. Yeah.
right. If you have enough lights, you don't get puzzles. You do not have puzzles are bad. They're not good. So I got a tapper off of TikTok and I put it on my other phone and logged in. This is the only way we can protect ourselves from people trying to make us be quiet. They didn't think to come over here and look. They did not think.
Well, it just
I'm
gets back
really
to she. Go ahead,
Go
Annie.
ahead.
It's
I'm
okay.
reading chat.
Finish your.
I don't even know what I was going to say, Audrey. Go ahead, baby.
I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, no, no.
I
It's
just
okay.
the bottom line is she what she did. You know who she is, Gypsy. What she did, her crime, and these people are supporting her. Um, and we aren't happy about it. It's wrong, and there was a great injustice done to Nick. And who how that habeas corpus he wrote? Did you read? I'm sure you read it, right?
Yes.
Who? What was that all about? He sealed his fate. I mean, that was awful. The judge would not grant him any leniency after that.
Well, I don't think that, like I told you, I don't think that Nick has legal representation at this point. And Nick, if you read
Clearly,
his stuff, Nick has always spoken like that. He's always been what I would call a
true.
tree hugger. He was into environmental things, and so you know I know that he has access to like
Mm,
a law, sort of a law library to help with their appeals, but he's doing that all on his own at this point. So I didn't have much hope
yeah.
for his habeas corpus, because all his appeals were denied, and his appeal should have gotten passed because he had legal representation, and they brought that doctor that explained his autism. Okay, I'm getting a buzz from you,
Yes.
Whisper Ledger. So, you know, he his if he, the big chance he had was to get the appeals, because he had actual good legal help then. But this habeas corpus he did on his own. I didn't think it was going to pass.
What is he talking about?
Okay, you're going to turn your microphone off because I'm getting your TV. Whisper. Okay, thank you. If you have something to say, you'll need to turn your TV off. Okay.
I guess I went off on a tangent with the habeas corpus, but I just feel like Gypsy, when she was sitting on her bed saying, I've been labeled a whore, some people think I should have been sterilized. I agree. I mean, she's not done anything for society since she was released. Watch me, look what I do with the rest of my life. Well, she's done nothing but serve herself. She shouldn't be allowed to
And cause
procreate. She took a
strife.
right. She's not safe.
All she
And
does, she's like lights a fire and walks away.
Exactly. Yes.
unscathed with no accountability.
Unscathed. 100% unscathed. She is very arrogant and she laughs at us because she got away with it.
She did, and she's not humble about it. She should have gotten out quietly, been happy with her few dollars from mommy D and just lived her life. She's brought this all on herself.
She sure has.
Well, I have a feeling
We need
though
to.
that it's done. I do because she can't. All right, she's not back on TikTok like she was. Remember when she did her like hour long lives where she got all the money and the gifts. She can't do that anymore because in order to do that, she has to leave her comments on. And the minute she leaves her comments on anywhere, everybody starts bringing up the prison emails. And we know so much about these prison emails now. There are so many content
So
creators
damaging.
that are organizing them, you know? Like we know about all the relationships in prison where she was, okay, this Millennium just did one. And Ashley Baby just did one. The Italian guy. Have you followed those prison emails with the Italian
Yes,
guy?
yes,
Okay,
absolutely, yes.
she
And all she did was continue her grift in prison,
yeah, she is
right?
like
And she
she's
didn't
like
rehabilitate.
seducing that Italian guy, wanting him to come here to visit her. He's got a girlfriend, but they're secretly having these sexual conversations. She's continuing that
Hmm.
when she commits to Ryan.
Wasn't she, yeah, engaged to Ryan? Exactly, yeah.
Yes, yes, and she's
But
still talking to
Ryan,
these other men. But yet the
and Ryan,
Lifetime series does not put any of that in there. They say the Lifetime series says, she went from Nick. They don't even mention Dan Gladwell. Nick, her mother, to Nick, to Ryan, divorced Ryan because he was controlling, to Ken.
and
She
Ken
had
the
many
fairy
other
tale, and
relationships.
Ken is a dick, and Ryan's a simp, and it's just gross. And yeah, she's not rehabilitated. She went into prison and continued her grift.
I think Ryan is just as culpable as Gypsy.
Absolutely.
He tried to
Absolutely.
get somebody who couldn't say no to him. He thought that he had her where she needed him, that he was like, I can manipulate her into being with me and marrying her and giving me all the smecks that I wanted. And that's what I feel like his attitude is fucked up, because the way he carries on now, you mean to tell me you're free in the world and you couldn't pull nobody but somebody in prison? Girls love a man that can make them laugh, and Ryan can't. What's wrong with him? It's something he's giving off creepy vibes or something, because women, why couldn't he date a free woman? You work in a school full of women and you couldn't pull none?
And he
Say
can.
working in a prison.
Hey Summer, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. How old are you?
How old are
Get
you,
him, Annie,
Summer?
get him.
We're talking about Gypsy Rose Blanchard tonight, and you have to be over 18 to be in my chats.
19.
Sullen Beauty. Okay. Sullen Beauty, I do have the Nick and Dawn emails. If you let me know, send me a message to when
Did you
you're
just call me
available.
ugly?
No, I did not call you ugly. I wasn't even talking to you. I was talking to someone down in my chat. So since you are just weird, you're gone. Okay.
Y'all,
Uh,
Annie is amazing on getting people to tell what their purpose is. Y'all, that's when I fell in love with Annie. Annie had this man. She like read him up and down, and he said, he final thing. He's like, right. I just came to troll. And it's like, oh my god. So every time I like see somebody up here, it's like, get him.
Did you all see
uh,
Ryan's Ryan got trolled last night? Um I'm sorry. I know you were talking about Don Booker. Go ahead, Annie. Finish your
No,
thought to
I
Sullen
was just, Sullen Beauty down here is asking about it. Sullen Beauty, send me a message to when you're available, and I will plan a live when you're available to do the Nick and Dawn emails. I don't know when a good time is, like afternoon, nighttime. I don't know when everybody can be here. And I want to do the Nick and Dawn when more people can be here. So
I think this time is a good time. You see, we're here. It's 31 people in here, and it's
about
still
nine, yeah.
peaceful.
9 to 10
Mm-hmm.
o'clock at night. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
can do it then. Um,
peaceful, good,
so
peaceful, intelligent conversation.
yeah, see, I've grown to know you guys now, so I don't mind if you come up and co-host and stuff. But I'm very, very protective of my lives and my platform.
Well, you
So,
should be. You have
Well,
every right to
you should
be.
be.
hmm
You have a lot of experience, Annie, and a lot to offer. So you don't
well,
get
I
caught up in
have
those other little
no,
people's.
I have since the '90s dealing with trolls, so I know exactly how to deal with trolls.
Can I just chip in and say something about Ryan?
hmm
Please.
Well, okay, here's my analysis of Ryan. I think he's a grifter. And I also think he has, these strange kinks where he needs to go after women who are vulnerable and with whom he can have this, I saved you, the savior complex thingy. And I don't believe that this Gypsosaurus is probably his first relationship. He seems to be complex, have real sad inferiority complex, which he masks by acting arrogant and I don't quite know how to explain it, but I think you get the drift.
Yes, you
Like,
do.
hmm
Yes. Huge
I
ego.
I do strongly believe he has extremely low self-esteem, and that's one of the reasons why he chose to be a special ed tutor. I don't think he'd survive in a class full of bright kids, even. He has to be around people who are vulnerable and whom he sees as, you know,
Inferior.
lower
Inferior.
than him, either intellectually or in some way. And he's never going to get another job. Never.
He'll never teach again in Louisiana, that's for sure.
No, he's destroyed his reputation.
He ruined his
Those mother
life.
jokes. Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I
his
defend
mama
He
jokes
also
are
has
awful.
Magic. He also has an
Like he
personality.
started off being this nice guy, he started off, but then it just slowly, he just started to unravel.
hmm
Well,
I
Gypsy's
defended
still
I
in his ear
And the way
too,
yeah.
he
Magic.
talks to
She's
women, it's
still.
so disrespectful.
Well, I defended Ryan until I read the prison emails and I saw how basically he's a simp.
Oh,
He will do anything
yes.
for Gypsy. He let her break
Anything.
up with him numerous times to go back with Ken. In the prison life, the first series, where Gypsy actually tells him, but right before they're getting married, Gypsy says, "I had a dream that I left you for Ken," and then it's just all. I believe that I don't know. At this point,
He absolutely
I would not be
he
surprised to
degraded
learn if
himself.
I don't. I would not be surprised to learn if Ryan was in on this on prison and it was all scripted. I really would not be surprised
Yep.
to learn that. You know.
Although
Um.
he degraded himself in those emails. I mean, he humiliated
Begged for
himself.
her. He begged
Yes.
for her after she said, I'm
Yes.
not attracted to you. He
So
begged.
he deserves what he gets. I mean, she did not lie to him. At least she was honest with him.
mhm.
But
Right?
yeah, but true, it could be all an act too. I don't know. I mean,
He is a classic
it's
submissive. He is a classic submissive. He will
ooh,
crawl
yeah.
for her, and he just denied and attacked his own brother.
Oh,
Yes,
Did you
I
Right?
see
know.
that?
yes, he did. And
Okay.
the way he
Publicly.
talks, did you hear when Gypsy said that his mom and her have a good relationship?
No, they
That
don't.
makes me think that she tells on Ryan to his mother. And see,
Yeah.
he said he didn't know his dad until he was 19. So Ryan acts like he's mad. Maybe he's mad at mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
It's some issues. It's something going on with in there because he's so angry. Why is he's abusive to his people who watch him. He's
Mhm.
abusive to those people. And it's like, why?
Hannah, you hit the nail
Yep.
right on the head, Hannah.
Yep.
I strongly believed he has some kind of a, mama complex, something where he fears but also desires stronger women. And like something so convoluted, so complex, and that comes out in the way he speaks to women,
Well,
disrespectful, arrogant,
misogynist.
and I don't think he can really relate to women in real life, and just sees them as objects of desire, or not even desire, objects to be controlled by pretending to be submissive. I don't know. It's just so wrong, just something so wrong. And another thing I discovered was he has some kind of a fetish with a woman's voice. There was one woman on one of his lives. He was just so bizarre. He almost acted like he was on a high. And it was about her voice. It was a woman called Vanessa.
Oh,
And
that's not a woman.
that
I'm
was a
sorry, go
guy,
ahead.
was it? Like I
She's a
strongly, but were
crossdresser.
you there?
Yeah, no, she came on his live 2 nights ago, and she sang for him, and he doesn't get it. I've got it recorded. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
She's
but did you
singing.
notice the kind of behavior, Audrey?
Yes, yes, yes. So he was biting his lip. Ryan is
Yeah,
Ryan is a recovering addict in quotation
yeah,
marks, and I think he has an obsession with Gypsy. He said that he thought her voice was
yes.
sexy. You're right. He has
Yeah,
issues.
that
He's got
imagine an
issues.
asshole having an obsession. I mean, he can't get a woman without an obsession. And now he's got obsessions, he's got blubber, he's got a grifting attitude, he's got addictions. Man, that guy's got everything
Not to
except
mention an
a
eating
redeeming
disorder,
factor, redeeming quality.
and he's
Fucking assholes.
misogynistic, and he makes those horrible mother jokes, and
Yeah,
he's
that yo mama jokes. That's another thing that makes me believe he's got some mama kink. Hey,
Andy, I'll send you. I'm
like,
gonna go send you that clip. I'll be right back.
okay.
I'm yeah.
Well,
Continue. I'm sorry, Magic.
No, I just have loads of, nasty things I'd like to talk about Ryan and Gyposaurus, but I just hate this whole gang. And it's so satisfying to say that, I've never known hatred before, but now I think I like that feeling. To hate Gyposaurus and to hate this obese grifter just feels nice.
well, I was done with Ryan when I read the prison email where Ryan is talking in the prison email. Ryan is talking to Gypsy, and they're talking about their sex play the night before, and he's in his classroom and he is writing to Gypsy saying that he can't get up from behind his desk because he's got a hard on basically, and he's in his classroom and he's writing this to her. That's when I was
I
done with
know.
Ryan. That's
I
when I was
read
done
this,
with him.
Annie.
Yeah.
I read that, Annie, but I strongly suspect it must have been as shriveled as a prawn. I just don't believe he can really get it up easily like that. Probably Viagra. Like, where do you even navigate in that large landscape of his? How do you find that teeny thing where it's buried somewhere?
Yeah. Well,
Like, he wouldn't have got a hard on that's visible or anything.
that's the whole thing.
I
I
Ryan
tried.
don't know.
never.
I
I just feel nasty, Annie. Like I am nasty. So if I'm, talking too badly with on your live, like kick me out,
no, I
okay?
love
I
No,
it.
have a potty
It's
mouth.
no. My thing with Ryan is he never cared about Gypsy's lies about Nick or about anybody else or about her mother. He
No,
never he never cared about her lies until she said the sex wasn't good with Ryan. Okay?
exactly.
The minute she said that, oh, she's a liar. Really? Okay. You know?
And that asshole, when the D was on fire, she wasn't a liar.
Right, right.
Well, the D was never on fire. I don't think she ever saw the D with all that 500 pounds of blubber around it. I doubt she's ever seen that. Well, that's good for Gyposaurus too. But Something so wrong with this guy. Something so wrong with that Jennifer too. Like, I look at the men this animal, this creature attracts.
Right.
Just
Such
look
a
at the
bunch of
kind of
winners, huh,
guys it
Magic?
attracts. Huh?
Such a
I
bunch of
just read.
winners they are, huh, Magic?
Yeah, really. Like all the discards, all the, like, the discards, the vermin, the pests that
The
nobody
drunk,
wants.
the drug
Like
addict.
fellow roaches.
Bottom feeders.
You so
Bottom
right.
feeders.
You so right.
Bottom feeders.
Talking
Annie,
Glyphosaurus.
I sent you the clip. It's about
Okay,
2
I've
minutes
taken
long.
up a lot of time, so I'll yield, but I'm going to be on the panel and listen, if that's okay.
Okay,
No, you don't
that's
have to
fine.
leave. Thank you. Your beautiful voice. I love it. Your accent.
I'm not kicking anyone out, Whisper. I don't kick people out. Unless they're weird, like trolling, I do. You know.
Annie, if you trust me, I sent you that clip of Vanessa singing to Ryan,
Yeah.
and it's just too funny. I mean, he's just, oh my gosh, he's pathetic.
I think
He,
we need
The next
trolling
day, again,
classes because
Audrey,
we
can you
don't know what
believe that he
trolls
brought
do.
up that Vanessa and said that live was a trip? So what?
what's
That
that?
Vanessa's not a. So that
No,
Vanessa's not a.
she's not a woman. She's not a woman. She's beautiful. She's Asian and she plays on it. She's a comedian actually. She's very funny. I mean, the way she was singing, you should play it, Annie. It's about 2 minutes long if you trust me, but
Uh,
I understand
can
if
can I? Let's see. Can I do? How do I do that? Do I? How do I
maybe
play it?
Hannah knows. Hannah,
You
I
have to
sent
do it
her.
with another device.
Oh,
Oh, you mean
okay.
like film my phone? Get my other phone? Hang on a second. Go ahead, talk amongst yourselves. I'll see if I can figure this out.
Magic, you'll see it when you see her again. She has a whole
Oh, is
page.
it? Well,
Yeah,
I
she's an
thought it was a
entertainer.
woman.
She's an entertainer, and she trolls Ryan a lot.
But
She
now, do
goes,
you think he's gonna? He probably is furious that he was got because he did not know that was a man.
he didn't. I don't know if he even knows right now, Hannah. I don't know. But one time I went into his live and I wrote what I just wrote in the chat. I trolled him. I put, Ryan, you couldn't find your D if it was on fire. And he read it.
He's always
Ryan
making
does not respond to my comments. He only responds to people who gift him and like
Right.
his lives, I think.
He
no.
hasn't blocked you. He hasn't blocked
He
me. Has he
doesn't.
not blocked
Ryan is
you?
very racist, so he's probably
Oh
if
my
you've
God.
got any kind of color in you, he's not going to talk to you anyway.
They all are
Maybe
racist.
that. Maybe because I'm brown then.
They all are gypsy. They all are racist.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Where did Anne go?
I don't know. I just saw that she wasn't up there. Yeah, they are. They all are racist, and it's like it's all of them.
Yeah, it started with Nina, and then
Yes, they are all racist.
yep, it's disgusting.
Okay, how do I turn my phone around? No, that's share. Okay, where's my camera at? Background boards, sounds.
We have faith, Annie. You can do it.
Where's my stupid camera? Hold on. Flip camera? Is that what I want?
I don't know if you use your camera, Hannah. Do you know? Can you tell her how
Yeah,
to
there
do?
it is.
Yeah,
There it
there
is.
you
There it
go.
is.
There
Okay,
you
can
go.
everybody see
Okay.
it?
Oh, thank you. I'm a crazy
Yes.
fan of Adieu makeup.
I love that. Close your eyes for 2 seconds. Let me see. Ah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
You're
It goes
so
great with the
sweet.
green. Yeah, it goes great with the green behind you. Yeah.
And during the battle, I can show you my vocal. Is that all right?
Perfect. Go for it.
They say he's famous because of
Turn it up,
Gypsy
Annie.
Rose. I don't know who
The
Gypsy
volume.
Rose is.
Well, good, because I don't know that girl either. So don't even worry about it.
Okay, okay. I found him for me. Darling, just dive right in.
His face.
Follow my lead. found a boy, beautiful and sweet. I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes, you're mine. Baby, I dancing in the dark with you in the dark with you between my legs, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it, telling you look perfect tonight. I loved it. Like, that was great.
Don't turn it off yet.
She
Wait.
right in too. Like I wasn't ready for that. I love that. It's a strong vocal, huh? Yeah, you got very strong vocals, and it was great. Like I enjoyed the heck out of it. Yes, a lot of people they're curious of my vocal range. It is super wide. Like let me tell you, when you broke it out right there at the end, like I wasn't ready for that, and my eyes went like that, and that's the way it should have been. Because like I swear I went like that because like it was great. It was great. Oh, I hope I didn't scare you. I choked like when you did it. Like somebody in my chat just said I choked up when you did because they weren't expecting it either. No, listen to that laugh. I'm sorry. I smoke every day, so the voice is broken inside a little bit. Oh, come on. That sounded like a sound effect. Like, that's the way it sounded. Like, it's so cool that that's the way it sounded. It's not a sound effect. It's all about me, just my broken voice. Your broken voice, stop it. It was great. Look how big that wine glass is. I think it's you. Wine glass, I was not expecting that either. You know, I told you the broken voice. I need to drink more water, you know. Okay, well, yeah. I tell you what, you'll drink a whole damn gallon of water if you drink out of that damn cup. Every day. I need to keep hydrated. Look at that comb. What the hell? I'm like in a damn. Am I dreaming? Gypsy, pinch me. Like this can't be real. It is very real. Vanessa is just a weird girl who always loved the big things. That's what she said. I love it. That's what she said. Forgive me, okay? I have my personal preferences. Yeah, she likes big things. Well, I'm a big guy. Yeah, and I hope you have a good night. You do the same, my friends. Very nice meeting you, Vanessa. You too. Bye, bro. Take care. Bye. Thank you for everything. Oh, stop. Don't bark. It made me hungry.
That joke about eating the dog.
I love your eyeshadow. Oh, thank you.
Annie.
I'm a crazy fan of your makeup. I love that.
It's over, Annie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
Thank you. That's awesome. You're so sweet.
So do you think he knew that he was being trolled?
And during the battle, I can show
No,
you my vocal. Is
I
that
don't
alright?
think so, Aunt Hannah.
They say that he's famous because
I
of
think at the last part he figured it out.
I don't know that girl
You think
either.
so? She's been on before, and he always acts so like flattered and flirts. She's been on a few times, so I don't know. But what she said about the Pixie when Pixie barked, she said, "Wait, she's making me hungry." It's funny. Sorry, that's racial.
Ryan is not the sharpest tool in the shed. Okay.
Not at all. But he's a creep. He is absolutely creep. And he doesn't realize that we've read the emails. My gosh, the way he says, "You guys don't know how I know her. You don't understand. You know, she cared, or she wouldn't have posted those text messages." And it's like, Ryan, we read the emails. I don't know.
I mean, it's
It's
just the timeline of it. Gypsy is, well, okay, months back when the prison emails came out, and the first ones that some people read were the ones about the 50-year-old woman calling Gypsy goddess. And Ryan came out on a
oh
live and
God,
he
yes.
said, well, I knew she was writing to people, but I didn't know they were sending her money. Okay. But then on another one, he says,
Mm-hmm.
Gypsy was always sending money home, offer because they can only have so much money on their books. And he said Gypsy was always sending money home. Where did he think she was getting it? Was she printing it in the prison?
Yep.
Apparently.
You know,
He also said that
I mean,
Gypsy, he also said once that Gypsy, that Ken wasn't the only ex that Gypsy was writing. And now we know, she had all those other, the Italian guy and a Brian, isn't there a Brian that she
there was
really got hurt
Brian,
over?
Yep. There
Sebastian.
is.
I think John or Robert was the guy in Florida, the older guy who was taking care of his parents in Florida. I think Gypsy was trying to get like all kind of places to like go to after prison. I don't think she wanted to go back to,
No,
Louisiana. I
she did
think she
not.
wanted to go to Italy with this guy.
Like
There was also
she's a
a Jeff
friend.
in between.
Yes, there was a Jeff, a
Yeah.
Sebastian. Um, and we know that she talked to Dan Glidewell for years after that. 2011 was their supposed relationship. We know that she was talking to him in 2015. She asked to meet with him, and Dan wouldn't go. She wanted to meet at the coffee shop before she left town with Nick.
Mhm.
She was talking to him in 2014 because Dan had a girlfriend, and Gypsy was still sending him sexy stuff and naked pictures and shit in
Who's the
2014. And
one?
There
then,
was
Who's
also a Brian. Do you remember? A
yes?
Brian who
yes,
was,
I think his name was Brian Rogers or something. There was a
Who's the one who
Brian.
still comments? Isn't there one
I
that
think he's
comments?
still around, Danny.
Yes, somebody
Hmm.
comments in the section from prison emails.
Yeah.
Ryan has
Uh,
willful ignorance. He will not. Refuses to read the emails. He refuses to watch any documentary or not documentaries, but
right.
like he has willfully ignorant. He doesn't want to know. Doesn't want to know.
Yeah. No, I misspoke just then. Brian Rogers was the guy that connects to Dan Glidewell. There's a Brian that she met in prison, started writing to, and that's the picture of him. He's kind of like the tall guy in the Looney Tunes shirt. He still talks to Gypsy. He still posts on her Facebook, her current Facebook. And he's also the guy that wrote the nasty kind of letter back to her saying she was a liar and really kind of challenging her on her bullshit. Uh, I
And then he
had read
ghosted
that one.
her.
I can find that. It's in my files. But Brian is also the guy that she gave her Facebook information to, and she told him to go and collect pictures and shit off her Facebook. And I think he cleared her Facebook out for her too. Because a year ago,
Probably.
there used to be, a couple years ago, you could still find her Facebook stuff. The Emma account, you can still find stuff. And her other accounts were still the Nick and the one she had with Nick. She had like a joint account with him. That used to have all kind of shit on it. It's empty now. It's gone.
What do you think about NPG?
I didn't hear that. What?
Oh, I'm sorry. What are your thoughts about NPG uh, Cornerstone? Do they have his
I
best
believe
interests at heart?
as far as saying that best interest, what can they really do for him? So as far as know, I know that he's giving them that information. He's giving them the videos. He's giving them because they have printed Facebook messages that only Nick and Gypsy would have. Gypsy doesn't have
Right.
them anymore because she destroyed
He
her
trusts
computer.
them. Yeah,
So
he trusts
only
them for
Nick would
sure.
have those. Do I trust them? I know Nick trusts them. So who am I to
Yes.
say boo?
Who do you think's behind it?
I do not know. Uh, I do not know.
They asked for money on his behalf before, and people don't know. They're not forthright. They don't disclose who they are, and I've
Right,
just
but
heard speculation.
okay, but here's my point on that. You don't have to give them money if you don't trust
No, I
them.
wouldn't. I don't.
Don't
I
give them
don't give
money.
money to
You
anybody
know,
on the internet.
anybody can go on and ask how much money has Gypsy earned over the years. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have to know if somebody's going to collect money for Nick, and I want to give money to Nick's commissary. Then I'll give it to Nick's commissary. You can.
Right.
We don't need to go through a thing. If you do not trust an entity, don't give them your money. You know,
We don't need to give Cajun Navy Jen.
don't need to give anyone your money. If you do
Unbelievable.
not trust it, or if you don't believe in what that money's going to, I don't give any money to anybody. What do they need my money
Neither
for?
do I. No, I don't have
You
money to
know,
give anyway.
exactly. I
I know,
don't.
but people do.
I live paycheck to paycheck. I'm not. My son supports me. I don't. I live on a budget. I don't have any extra. But okay, I can't give money, but I can give my time, and I can give my attention, and I can give my voice, and I can do that for Nick. I have no.
Somebody
Go ahead.
somebody's asking. I'm sorry about the letter about Fancy's
Oh,
book that she wrote. A
right.
letter. Name
Do you want? Go ahead. Do you want to tell him what that is?
I don't know very little. I mean, Fancy. Do you know who Fancy Metelli or April Johns is? Sullen Beauty. She just came out with a book, and apparently she wrote a letter. Um, a, and she and Dee Dee, is that what she did, or did she write it to Dee Dee?
Yeah. No,
I
she
really
read
don't
it.
very
She
well.
wrote it
I
in.
think
She
it's
wrote it
her handwriting.
in Dee Dee's like voice. She wrote the letter as if Dee Dee was writing to Fancy. Um, yes,
Oh,
go over to Sweet and Honey, Sweet as Honey. She read it. So search on TikTok, search Sweet as Honey, and the video will pop up. She just read that
okay.
letter that is in Fancy's book. It's written in Dee Dee's like voice, as if Dee Dee wrote
Giving
this letter to
giving
Fancy.
giving Fancy
Yes,
accolades for being her wife. Oh, okay, be giving her
yes,
justice. That Fancy, thanking Fancy for being her voice and clearing her name. Is that what the theme is? Okay,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
that's
yes. It is. That's my last straw. Personal with Fancy. My last straw. That's it. That's done. I'm done. I'm done.
I hear
I
you.
gave her credit for
No problem.
releasing the medical records, but she wasn't the only one who released the medical records. They were given to Natasha Cooper years ago, too, back in 2019, and they released them. So once those medical records were in the public domain, they're public domain. They belong to the public. Sorry, that's how that shit works. You don't own it. You don't own any of this information. And doing this is my last straw.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will
Go
say she
search
has
Sweet
instant
as Honey.
karma. I will say that.
I have history with Sweet as Honey too. I'm not going to play nice anymore with any of these people. Um, I'm over here. I'm doing my own lives, minding my own business.
I'm happy you are.
Fancy has written.
They don't
Fancy
deserve
has
you.
written many
You
books.
don't. It, yeah. Anybody can
You
write a
know
book, though, right? I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
Can. She published it through Kindle Publisher, so yes,
Yeah.
anybody can write a book.
I have a book on KDP. I'm a friend of mine in California wants me to help. I'm illustrating books about his dogs, his animals. I've got a book published on Amazon. All you do is you set up an account on Kindle Digital Publishing. You create the book in like Microsoft Office, or I use Canva. It's an art program. You upload the book onto Amazon. They accept it. They print the book. It costs like $3 for them to print this small little paperback book. And then they take a cut of anything sold, and then you get a cut of anything sold. But yeah, you can publish anything. I've got, right now, I've got 10 books in the works. They're kind of going through review. I'm just writing children's books. They're short stories.
Oh, cute. This was a lot of fun, Annie. Thank you.
Yeah, the biggest thing, easiest thing, and that gave me an idea today. The easiest thing to publish on Amazon Kindle is word, those word search books and coloring books. I'm going to do a coloring book about Gypsy and a word search about Gypsy.
That's cute.
Yeah, they are good.
I still think
That
we
is.
should do a.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I've got I'll bring that to my next live. I've already got illustrations for a fairy tale about Gypsy.
I think that
That's
Gypsy, if you listen to the way she tells her stories, like my mom tied me up for 2 weeks and made me pee in a bucket. She tells stories like a juvenile child would tell on their mom. Like she's got the meanest mama in the world, but she took that into she needed to go. Look, she must unalive because she's the meanest mama in the world. But the story she tells about what her mother wouldn't let her do was stuff that was harmful to her well-being. And she just tell one of them kids that just lie about everything. And she started at a young age.
Yeah, you wouldn't want your micro deleted daughter sleeping with a married man that has children that's twice her age. I mean, she was trying to protect her from
who has a history of going after younger girls. Dan had a history with younger women.
I believe that. That's terrible.
I believe, because here's my question. Why has Dan never come forward before in all this time? Because people were insinuating that he was involved. So would you not, if people are saying this about a high profile case, would you not come forward and clear your name? Okay. So Dan never has. I believe, and also, the reason Gypsy told multiple stories about that night. First, she said her mother found her. She said she left her phone. Her mother found her phone. Then it was 2 friends of Dan called her mother. Okay, these 2 friends of Dan, how did they have Dee Dee's phone number? Okay, so they must have known Dee Dee. All right, yeah, so they all must have known each other from, VisionCon or whatever. So when Dee Dee went to collect her, initially, I don't think that Dee Dee wanted Gypsy back. I think Dee Dee went for the money and the prescriptions that Gypsy took. I believe, for entertainment purposes, educational, whatever, my own opinion, I think that Dan and them, all of them, were selling the prescriptions. I really believe that was what was ongoing. Oh, my battery on my phone's going to die soon, so.
I know, I just plugged mine in.
Yeah, I think I have about 10 more minutes, guys.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. She definitely was selling. She was not an addict. She was just selling the drugs and using that as I took 3 Vicodin and checked out or something. She wasn't an addict. She was selling her mom.
No, the way she speaks doesn't suggest any history of addiction.
Exactly.
She completely
not at
lacks
all.
empathy towards like you'll know an addict when you speak to them. Ryan definitely was and probably is.
You mean like telling
Jennifer as
Ken
well,
to
but not this.
go shoot up and die? OD? Yeah, she's horrible. No empathy. You're right, Magic. She said a couple of very hurtful things about addicts
Yeah.
when she was in, when she, a few times. She has shamed addicts. She has shamed mothers. She has shamed overweight people. She's horrible person. Horrible person. Horrible woman.
Audrey, I've lost the ability to refer to her as a she or as anything human. Somehow I've just started saying it because I just can't see any human quality in that person. Try as hard as I did, just one human quality. No, absolutely none.
That's true. We should start referring to her as her inmate number. Does anybody know it? I
I
love
call
that.
her that thing. That thing ain't had no sense.
Or no heart, no empathy, no conscience. I mean,
No, nothing. No
she went to
brain.
prison. No, she got a prison mentality in prison and came out worse. She's not
My thing,
rehabilitated.
my personal thing is how she has taken advantage of real traumatized people to defend her. And they're gonna
Yes,
learn, and they're gonna turn that inward. They're not gonna, blame they're gonna blame themselves for defending her, and she's gonna re-traumatize thousands of people.
Hannah, weren't you talking one night or one time about her when she said that she wanted to unalive herself? When they went to Dallas and partied, and she's all better. Went to see a therapist once. I mean, what?
Right.
That's another way of shaming people, and uh, the people around her don't care about her because she's probably horrible to them.
She is. That what she did to Bree when she let out that PSA, and then she's like, my friend Bree has been picked on for being overweight. Why would you do that? You didn't even have to mention Bree's name. Like you did that. You gave yourself up to the bullies. You fed Bree to the bullies. It's like why would you do that? That's not a friend. You don't do that stuff to a friend. Out of
And
anybody out
showing
there.
her stomach,
Right.
just like that with Brie around. I think she just wanted everyone to say, "Oh, you're a new mama, but your tummy is as flat as a chalkboard." Well, fuck you, it wasn't. It was just blubber. That's what I wanted to say, but I refrained because I didn't want to body shame Brie. I would never body shame anyone, but I'm so happy body shaming this Gyposaurus because I don't even see it as human. But she was nasty to Brie in that
That's
video, Hannah. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, look what she
went
did
on
when
Kale Lowry and she said the weight fell off me. Go ahead.
You said what? No, you we
When she
didn't
went
hear
on Kale
you.
Lowry and said, "Oh, you can't hear me? I'm sorry. I'm charging my
Uh
phone." She went on Kale Lowry and
oh.
just said the way you still can't hear me.
go ahead, go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Nikki.
Okay. Oh, I just remember when she went on Kale Lowry and said that the weight just fell off of her, and it just so insensitive. And she didn't suffer from
Hmm.
postpartum depression. None of the. That's just terrible. That's a wrong message to send.
Right.
Now she
That's
wants
all.
to say Wellbutrin. Where are my Wellbutrin girlies? I don't
Yeah.
know. They should be hiding from you.
But she didn't. She goes on there and says she did not suffer from postpartum. But then in remember the apology to Ryan, where she said she was
Mm-hmm.
postpartum. So she keeps switching everything around. And remember when the bullying was going on, and she came, and Bree and them were being challenged and held accountable, and she went on one of her things and she said, you know, I don't do any of that. What my friends do is their own responsibility. Well, they're all doing it for her.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
doing it on her
Yes, I
behalf,
remember
you
that.
know, but she's throwing them under the bus. She
Mhm.
doesn't care because what's going to happen eventually, people have been defamed and discredited and slandered, you know, and there can be legal cases over this. Nick has a defamation case. They've lied about him for 10 years. He has a defamation case, you know, and all these people that have defended her, you know, these core groups like Bree and them, they can be called into a legal case if it ever goes there, which means all of their phones, all of their computers, everything's going to be
Good.
part of a legal deposition. They can lose their houses. Even if they're not sued personally, they'll have to get a lawyer because all of their shit's going to be part of the legal case. So,
You know
is
what
that what?
I'm concerned.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Well, is that because my phone and your phone's about to die? Is
Yeah.
Sheena? Sheena is dangerous. She reminds me of Yolanda Saldivar. Do you remember her?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that. She was Selena's manager. Was that what
Mm-hmm.
she was? And then she wound up unaliving Selena. I can see that in Sheena. She's sick, right? She's got liver disease,
Yep.
correct?
I
So
see it
she
in
has
Bree.
nothing.
I think it's one or the other.
I don't see it in Brie as much as Sheena. Sheena's got nothing to lose. She's
Right.
dying. Go ahead.
No, Sheena has been over in my lives, and Sheena went over a long time ago. One of my posts I make. Sheena commented on it, and she came over and she said, "Hi, JFK Annie, remember me?" And she acted like I knew her and she knew me. It was really weird. It was just really weird.
She has a strange vibe about her. Like she's definitely dangerous. I'll say that. Can I say that? I
Yeah,
don't know.
she's creepy. She's creepy as fuck.
Hey
I don't
guys,
want
I'm
her to
sorry,
come.
I had a phone call.
Yeah, we
I,
wondered.
I,
We
I have
missed
to
you.
I have to end anyway because my phone's dying. So
Okay.
I'll go on tomorrow night if you want, and I can get those uh Dawn Boker emails ready. I've been wanting to discuss those for a long time.
Well, Annie, thank you for letting us actually talk. Thank you so
Right.
much.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yes,
I love to have people talk. I hate
it
my
was
own
lovely.
voice.
I don't like my
So
own voice either.
so
It was
No, but
um
I
lovely.
mean talking and just having a voice. Thank you.
yeah. If you want me to come on tomorrow night, I can do it. Which is better, tomorrow night or Monday?
And whenever is good for you, girl.
Whenever. I have no life. I'm home.
Me either.
I have no life either. And I'm getting ready for winter and I hibernate in winter, so I'll be doing a live every night in winter. So I'll try to get those emails ready. I got to pull them off my other phone. But they're really interesting the way Dawn writes to him and introduces all her multiple characters. You're going to see a lot of similarities with Dawn and Gypsy. So I'll do that tomorrow night. About
Awesome.
is 8 o'clock good or is later 9 o'clock better?
It doesn't matter to
Doesn't
me,
matter.
baby.
Doesn't.
I'm good.
Are you
Okay,
on Pacific
I'll try to
Standard
go on it.
Time? What are you on?
Okay, I'll
What
try
time
to go
zone
on
are
at
you on,
8.
Annie?
That
I'm in
sounds
Columbus,
great.
Ohio, so it is 10:28 now here.
Ohio. Okay.
So okay,
Okay.
I'll charge all my phone.
Okay.
I'll charge both of
Perfect.
my phones, and so I'll have at least 3 hours, and we'll do the dawn tomorrow and whatever discussion you guys want.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'll see you
Thanks
at
so much.
8 o'clock tomorrow night, and I'll follow everybody that followed me in the chat. If I miss anybody, just send me a message. Okay.
All right, Annie. Thank you. Thank you, chat. Y'all have a
All
good
right.
night.
Good night.
Good night,
Thank you for everybody
everybody.
for
Good
being
night,
here.
Annie. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye bye.